The Comic-Con that is a mile above the rest returns in 2013, and it's bigger than ever.
That's right. Stan Lee's going to be at Denver Comic-Con this year.
They also have George Takei at Denver Comic-Con 2013.
Plus Kelly Hu and Will Wheaton.
Friend of the podcast, Georges Jonty, will be there. So go online to denvercomiccon.com where you can buy tickets. Stay tuned. VIP tickets for Stan Lee will be available. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic-Con. Log on to denvercomiccon.com to get your tickets now. Stan Lee tickets go on sale this weekend. Make sure you pick them up because it's the only way you can guarantee to meet Stan Lee.
It's like a month away.
It's a month away. And you got to get tickets. I was talking to Sam when we were at Alamo last week, and I said, hey, are you guys, how's it going, with ticket sales? And he told me double from last year from at the same point.
Wow.
So they are selling tons of tickets. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you get them because there is a chance it could sell out.
Yeah, there might be a point where they actually have to say no to people.
And he told me that. He says, the fire department has a strict limit on how many people we can have there, and it might happen this year.
Well, so last week my car broke down. Right after the show, and I ended up getting towed. I want to shout out to Joshua, who was my tow truck driver, and he was so cool, and ended up staying there because it was really cold, and he let me just stay in his truck for a while, and I didn't have to touch him or anything. It was great. But he
ended up saying you didn't have to touch him makes me think you touched him.
Well, anyway, turned out that he did security for DCC last year.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up talking.
Oh, that's right. You did text me that.
Yeah, we ended up talking about documentaries the whole time. It was really cool. But he did security for them last year and said that I don't want to say what things didn't go well, but it was originally they expected 10,000 people, and it ended up being 27. So at some point they just let the floodgates go, and this year that's probably not going to happen. So make sure you get tickets ahead of time. Is what I'm saying.
Because one of the coolest moments for us, for me last year, was the first day we were driving up through the convention center, and the line was going around the building.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Moral of the story, you don't want to get up, drive all the way down there, and either get turned away or stand in the hot sun.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Make sure you get your tickets. I'm sure they will probably have, last year, they had some ways where you could get your tickets ahead of time so you don't have to stand in the line to get your tickets that morning. Do whatever you can so that you can just get there and enjoy your day. And do it as early as possible.
And if you're waiting in line at the Comic-Con, there's no better way to listen to your music on your iPod than by going to tweakedaudio.com and getting some earbuds from tweakedaudio.com. When you pick out your earbuds at the checkout, make sure you enter Real Nerds in the coupon area. It's just one word, REELNERDS, and you'll get a third off your whole order.
And now, you want to order those as early as possible because you don't want to suffer the pains of shitty earbuds for much longer. But the truth is, their shipping's really good, so you can order it the week of Denver Comic-Con and still get them in time for standing in line.
I will say this. When we partnered with them and they said, we'll send you guys some earbuds, we got them in 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and my mom bought some, and she got them, same thing. It was 2 days, and they arrived.
And they come in with the cute little satchel that you can carry them in. They're comfortable when they're in your ears. They're way more comfortable than those crappy iPhone ones that they give you with your iPhone or iPod.
And you can actually hear things with them, which is pretty cool.
Noise reduction microphones.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They're great. Check them out. And
so make sure.
And not stupid expensive.
No.
They're reasonable.
Way reasonable.
Even though some of them have wood in them. They're made of wood.
That's the ones I have, natural, version 3.
I like things that are made of wood.
So visit tweakedaudio.com. Remember...
I almost slipped it in there.
Yeah, but my wife was right there to catch it.
That was James, by the way, with that little comment.
Please don't say
and
that.
And I'm Brad.
Your wife was there to catch it.
I'm doing the commercials, and then I'll get right into who we are.
Yeah. Well, those were some good commercials, Ryan. Who are we?
Well, I'm Ryan. I run this show, and I hate when Brad tells me how to run my fucking show.
We also saw Oblivion this week.
Hey, let him get there.
No, I'm taking over.
This
is my coup.
If you want the show to be fucking stupid, then that Brad in front of me is
Brad. I said that already.
To my right is
James.
And we're the Real Nerds.
Yeah.
We love movies. In fact, we love movies so much that every week we go see a movie. this week we saw Oblivion with the Aviation Cocktail guys.
Yeah.
And they'll be in the interview and the review part because they're like, you guys are lame. We're not going to stay for your whole show. But those of you who listen to our whole show, you have several ways to reach us. You can tweet us at @real_nerds. You can go onto our website and leave a comment that Cora left a comment this week, realnerdspodcast.com. You can call us 720-6nerds5, or you can go on our Facebook page, leave little comments there, and we'll try to hit them all.
Yeah.
And without further ado, fan mail.
Fan mail!
I do have a couple fan mail things. I reached out to my friend Charlie, who I worked with at Outback, and he is a musician. And I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm looking for an original composition for a Real Nerds theme. He has emailed me saying that he has his sax player, and they are recording it tomorrow, and by the end of this weekend, I will have the Real Nerds theme.
Oh,
so
man.
we should have it. And I mean, I'm not pushing him. Hey, Charlie, if you're listening to this and you don't get it done this weekend, no worries.
Yeah.
But he says he's recording it, and he's going to mix it and have it ready for us.
That's so cool.
So
that was one of those things that I dreamed of.
I know, it's so
I
cool.
was like, it would be really cool.
You know what's
if we
really
could
cool
get someone to
is
make that.
he just said he loved our show. I said, hey, man, you're a musician. I'm looking for a theme song. If you have like any throwaway tracks or something that you have. He says, no, man, I'll compose a real one for you. And that he came back that he's recruiting a sax player and he's actually going to produce it, and he wrote real music for it is mind-blowing. So he wants to be on the show. May 3rd is when he wants to be on the show, which is the Iron Man 3 show.
I was just going to say, that sounds like a big week.
It is, and he wants to be on the show. So Charlie, if you're available, May 3rd, absolutely. But if he can't make the May 3rd show, he says he's free from work a lot starting at May 3rd. So
there are going to be a lot of movies this summer that I'm sure he'd like to see. We will find a way.
Yeah, you'll be on the show, and then you can pimp your music, and you can talk about how you wrote the theme for Real Nerds and what inspired you.
We could sit there, we could sing it. We could hold hands and sing the song like Kumbaya.
I don't think there's lyrics, but we can make up some.
Oh, yeah. Real Nerds. Da, 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 da.
Real nerds, we're watching movies. James sits there and he orders smoothies. I don't know.
Oh, dude, there we go. Yeah, some rhymes. Man, you've been watching a lot of Leprechaun movies.
I have been watching a lot of Leprechaun movies.
Oh, man. Cool.
And we also, Cora left me a little comment on our website, which we don't get too many comments on our website. We get a lot of spam.
Yeah. If you want to know really good ways to see Pain and Gain illegally on the internet, there are some unapproved comments on it.
Or if you want to read about website blog information, there's one really funny, and I forgot to save it, but it was like, I searched the web for lots of information on this particular subject, and I found that your web series is the best on it.
Many people would be together with you on this.
Yeah. I love it. Where someone's like fourth language is English. And it's
anytime that a spam comment, because they end up all being the same, anytime that it ends with like your web blog is very good, maintain on it, those are my favorites.
That's classic. That's classic spamming.
Yeah, maintain on it.
And I got one other little bit of news that it wasn't really a fan mail, but I'm going to do it because it made me all giddy inside, is Bobby, who's our friend Joe. He does all the intros for us. Joe's friend Bobby is volunteering for Comic-Con this year.
Cool.
And he told me about the Caped Brusader is the Comic-Con's name of their beer. And they're having a launch party, so he said we should all go. So, yeah, we should go to it. It's May 9th or something.
Oh, cool.
At the Social Punch Bowl. I don't know what the fuck that is at.
I know where it is at.
Cool. So Brad's a heavy drinker, so he knows exactly where all that stuff is.
I'm drunk right now.
But the first 200 people get a free glass with a Caped Brusader on it.
Oh, cool.
Drawn by the guy who drew
it's a little
30
glass
Days
with
of
a
Night.
cape on it?
I don't know what it is.
No,
That'd
it's
be sweet.
Like the
glass
Diet
that
Coke
has-
commercial from the Batman
That'd be
VHS?
sweet.
No. It has the Caped Brusader drawing on the glass.
Boo. I like that
So,
idea better.
but it's drawn by Ben Templesmith, who drew 30 Days of Night. So
That's awesome.
So we got to be with some of the first 200 people there. But anyways, he was at like a meeting for volunteers for DCC, and someone asked about podcasts, and they said that Real Nerds are going to be there, and they're really good. So
oh man, somebody out there said we were really good. They must
that's
not be
cool
listening.
that we got a shout out
Yeah.
for the volunteers. So thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Really cool.
Make sure you stop by our booth at
Yeah.
at the Comic-Con.
You know, last year I really wanted to talk to a volunteer, so it would be cool to get him on the show.
Yeah, we
Just
should be able
to find out like what it's like for them. You know,
I know, yeah,
what
we
kind of
should-
stuff they end up getting involved in.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. We'll
What's
make
it
that
like
happen.
doing a lot of work and not getting paid for it?
How much stuff do you get to see, and how much stuff would you like to see?
You know, if you're volunteering and you know security for, I don't know, one of the Doctor Who people, then maybe it's a cool thing to.
Oh yeah. Well, even if it's not, it would just be interesting. I'd like to hear, you know.
Maybe get some
What that
sweet
experience is
tail
like.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I was protecting
Hey,
Matt
security,
Smith.
yeah. Ah.
And
Someone
also,
tried to hug him, I
there's
stopped him.
a really cute picture of James with the Not Literally girls with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was a good picture. I hate you so much.
I'm 6
You know
years
what
old.
we should have? We should have a Not Literally Real Nerds wedding. You know what? That should be an episode of our
I'm
little
not.
pod
I'm not
series.
participating in that.
What? Dude,
You
it'll be
will.
like a Joni Loves Chachi wedding. It'll be awesome.
I'll wear
No.
a beard and glasses, whatever.
Thank you, Brad.
Hey, look, I'm James, and I liked what's that movie? I forgot. Oh yeah, the
Prometheus?
John
David
Carter.
Oh man, this has gone. To
I
a,
do.
This has gone into a
James
horrible
doesn't
like.
sound like that at
Hey,
all.
rabbit
so,
hole of
but when
inside
James
jokes.
is like, I do, and then the Not Literally girls go, you totally do, and they'll do a big song and dance number, it'll be so fucking epic.
It's really good that they don't listen to our show.
They should listen.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm not that cool.
yeah.
Anyways, thanks everybody who wrote in. Thanks, Bobby, for giving us a
Absolutely.
shout out.
Oh, you never actually said what Cora's comment was.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Cora just mentioned that she's going to go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics to pick up I Kill Giants.
Really?
Because,
Oh man.
you know, my if you don't know, every week now I've been going on our website and I've been posting the comic book we've been talking about. So hopefully it perks interest in comic books again.
Yeah.
Well, again, I mean,
Again.
gets people
Among
in comic
among
books
people
in-
who aren't already into comics, which
Exactly.
really those people should get into comics.
They should, because they're
It's-
amazing.
Yeah.
Especially if you know, ever thought pictures and word balloons could make you cry.
Yeah. If you're somebody who, like, you have a short trip on the train and then reading a book doesn't really work, but, you know, comic is good for that. Just saying.
Yep.
Read comics.
So thanks,
What
guys.
do we do next in the show?
We talk about stuff we watched.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
And I know, because I saw Brad on Wednesday, that Brad watched a lot. I watched a lot, too.
I watched a lot of great stuff.
Oh, great. And it's more justified.
Well, your review's done.
No.
You said it was great.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
Cool.
sorry.
My turn.
Quality more than
The
quantity.
circle is complete, guys. I found the gold at the end of the rainbow. I was not sure if I could... Originally, the Leprechaun and the Hood movies, I did not know existed.
Right.
Um,
Which I don't know how you fell into that ignorance.
I know. Well,
But,
honestly, I don't know how I didn't know because,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I love horror movies and I love the Leprechaun movies. So I don't know how I
knew about the first one. I didn't know there were a second one or one in space. Those ones really were shocking to me.
So here was the bummer. So originally I was the bummer. I was going to go to Blockbuster and just rent them because there is a Blockbuster that still rents movies by me.
Right.
But I went there and they've like gutted out their whole renting thing, and
Right.
so I mean I'm guessing it's gonna be gone soon.
Right.
And so I couldn't find it. I said, well, maybe it's in comedy or maybe it's in something else I can't find. So I asked a lady. I said, hey, do you guys have Leprechaun in the Hood? She says, what the fuck is that? And, well, she didn't say
fuck?
that, but the look on her face was, what the fuck is that?
No, of course we don't.
So I
We're
said-
selling the shelves out of this building. Why would we still have Leprechaun movies?
So I was bummed, and I came home and I told my wife, I said, "They didn't have Leprechaun in your hood. I'm not happy, and I'm tired of this." Should
And you punched a hole in the wall.
I punched a hole in the wall? I kicked my dog. So no, it was Reggie. That's why he went.
Oh,
That's how he lost his eye.
That's not people. He didn't actually kick his dog.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to Second Spin. And I'm going to see if they have it there. They didn't have it at Second Spin.
What?
I know,
How does a person get Leprechaun movies these days?
right? And
This is
so
the worst quest you've
and-
ever been on.
And so my wife knows this about me. You guys might not know this about me, but when I get my mindset on something, I have to fucking get it or it bothers me.
What?
Yes. So
You mean like your wife?
like my wife.
Yeah. Oh.
When I saw my wife at that Halloween party, I'm like, I'm going to fuck that chick. It's the last thing I do.
No, please. I don't need to
Dressed
know.
as her mom. And then when I saw her mom, I'm like, this is happening.
Oh, Ryan. Oh.
So I went to Tradesmart again, and I was going to order them on Amazon, but they're $9 each on Amazon. I said, I'm not going to spend $18 on Leprechaun in the Hood movies.
No.
But I went to Tradesmart, and for them separately were $9 each used.
Right.
I was like, fuck, well, I guess $9 for, two of them. One I get for $1. But then I was looking a little closer, and they had a 3-pack of Leprechaun 4, which I already owned.
Which is the space one.
This is a space one. And they also had Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun Back to the Hood. But it's THA, so I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not, urban at all. So the Hood.
Back to the Hood.
Yeah. And that was $4.99. So I was like, score!
Yeah.
And so if anybody wants a copy of Leprechaun in Space, write to Real Nerds Podcast. I'll send it to you.
And if you'd really like, he'll break it in half for you first, and then send it to you.
There's some funny parts in it. There's not horrible. And there's some chick's boobs in it. So,
there you go. All right.
There's that.
I think there's laws against sending porn through the mail.
It's not porn because there's a little leprechaun running around in it.
Oh, you're right.
So anyways, the first one is about... and here's the thing with the Leprechaun movies. They don't follow any continuity.
Because I was just going to say, so he went to space, and then, in order to up the adventure, the Hood.
Yeah.
He's like, well, space is cool, but I'm going to go to the...
You know where I haven't been? The Hood.
So anyways, he's like trapped in this underground thing, and Ice-T is in it, and he's actually pretty funny because he plays an exaggerated version of himself. So he's found in the 70s, and Ice-T has this big afro, and him and his partner find the leprechaun. He's frozen in stone, and they pull his amulet off of him, and when they pull the amulet off him, he's, of course, the leprechaun again. And he goes to kill Ice-T's, sorry, I get my rappers mixed up.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Kill Ice-T's homeboy when his back is turned. And they have these big afros, so his homeboy keeps on pulling like weapons out of his afro to kill the leprechaun. And the leprechaun, is just saying, "I want me gold," because they're stealing his gold. Right. And so he keeps on trying to kill the leprechaun with pulling things out of his afro, and then he runs out of things to pull out of his afro, and the leprechaun kills him with the hair pick. What do they comb their afros with?
Hair pick.
So he slits his throat with that, and then.
This sounds like the horror version of Mystery Men.
Yeah. So
if the leprechaun's after the gold, does he like rip out a bunch of grills or?
Oh, dude! Is Brad more creative than the filmmakers?
Am I thinking ahead?
Maybe. This might be in Leprechaun.
That's a good part.
Back to the Hood, though. Sorry, wrong in the Hood. So, anyways, Ice-T puts the amulet on him, and he becomes super rich and this like rap star mogul. And then these 3 kids are rappers, but they want to deliver a positive message. So it's not a very good movie. In fact, if I was going to pick the worst Leprechaun movie, it's probably this one, because they forget that like the Leprechaun is in the movie.
Oh,
there'd be literally 30 minutes of these kids trying to break into the rap business, and then all of a sudden the Leprechaun will show up and kill people. And
so it's like Hustle and Flow, but with leprechauns.
And it doesn't. I mean, of course, none of the Leprechaun movies make that much sense. But there's a part where they're hiding out from the Leprechaun in this church, and the part I forgot to tell you is there's a magic flute that if you play it, everybody obeys your command. So these kids become really famous because they blow the flute before their rap. So everybody loves their rap.
Of course they do.
Of course. And so there's a part they're hiding out in the church, and the Leprechaun's been gone for I don't know, like 20 minutes, and Ice-T is looking for the money that these kids... It's really convoluted, but they stole money from Ice-T, the gold, the leprechaun's gold. And so Ice-T's looking for him, and he finds him in this church randomly, and so they run upstairs, and they hide in this closet, and they're like, oh, we escaped, and they're like pounding each other's fists. And then the one guy pounds the leprechaun's fist. The leprechaun is just there. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know how he got there. I don't know how he knew where he was at. And then they ran into another room, and the leprechaun is trying to break down the door. And the whole time, like, but he just showed up. Can he just, like, will himself into a room? And it also, Warwick Davis is pretty good in it, but you can tell that he's kind of getting tired of being the leprechaun.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to Leprechaun Back to the Hood, I actually forgot the worst part of Leprechaun in the Hood.
Oh, okay.
So there's a huge climax scene where they're all shooting each other, and the leprechaun shows up, and he's like ripping people's throats out. And
all right, I'm in.
Absolutely. And so,
how does he get to their throats? Because he's
jumps.
small. Oh,
dude,
God.
and he's magical, dude. So he's fighting like the positive rap guy and Ice-T. The leprechaun kills Ice-T. And then he's about to kill the positive rap guy, and then the rap guy throws the amulet in the air, and it's like going to come in on the leprechaun, and there's this huge... And then the movie just fucking ends. Like, it doesn't... Yeah, it...
Wait, like mid-action sequence?
Yeah, it's like...
Sure your DVD player didn't just drop
No, because I'll tell you...
Were you supposed to flip it over and watch the second half?
No, because this is what's stupid. So the amulet's like falling down, the movie ends, credits start going, and then it cuts to like this tag scene where that rapper guy's rapping again, and he pulls down his like sunglasses and his eyes are green.
Like
and
he's
then
the leprechaun?
And then the leprechaun is in the crowd, and then the leprechaun starts rapping.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
What the fuck happened?
So Leprechaun Back to the Hood actually opens really cool. It starts with this animated sequence that tells a backstory of the leprechaun, where he comes. The leprechauns are these earth-dwelling dwarves, and the king conjures them up through black magic to protect his gold.
Right.
So,
of course,
after the king dies, there's no reason to protect the gold anymore, so all the other leprechauns go back to the earth, except for the one evil leprechaun. And he stays there, and he keeps the gold for himself. That's why he's greedy. And it's this really cool animated sequence in a storybook. I'm like, oh, man, I can get into this. And then it goes to freaking In the Hood again, where it's they show this father running from the leprechaun, and the leprechaun is trying to be scary in this. So it's not that good. Like, he doesn't have any really cool lines. He gets stoned at one point, and he just kills people with, like, slicing their throats, and it's really not that good. Yep.
Does the opening sequence ever come into play? Like, do they use some information from that to defeat him later?
Yeah, that you have to use 4-leaf clovers to stop him. So one of the rap guys or the gang, the drug dealers, whatever, they're black people that are in the hood.
Whoa, back up.
They're black people in the hood so they're the characters. So it's pretty, like, it's like caricatures of...
They're stereotypes.
Exactly, of black
the movie
people.
is being racist. Yeah,
exactly. So he takes clovers and, like, smashes them up and puts them in hollow bullet tips and pours wax on them, and he shoots the leprechaun with them.
It would have been better if it had been like a slapstick comedy where they have to befriend the leprechaun, get the leprechaun to get high with them, then they put the 4-leaf clovers in the weed, and then make the leprechaun smoke it, and then, like, he dies from weed. Like,
see, that'd be creative, but this movie is not.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer. And then there's like
That's too bad.
a psychic witch who tries to kill him.
How do you fuck up leprechauns in the hood? Like,
Right?
I feel like that is such a goldmine of stupid that making a movie... It's like with Iron
that's the
Sky,
thing.
where I was like, all I want was Nazis from space, and you fucked that up. Like, how...
But I'm going to have to watch Leprechaun Back to the Hood one more time because there is audio commentary by Warwick Davis on the DVD.
What?
So I really have to listen to it.
Wow.
So I'm going to suffer through that movie again.
I don't understand how these movies get made. Like, you've done this before with, like, the Hellraisers and stuff, and I can see, like, when, you know, when somebody like Scott Derrickson comes onto a movie and is like, hey, I've got this cool idea for what I want to bring to this series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear any of that in these movies. Like, it just sounds like nonsense.
But see, you worked at Blockbuster. You know
Yeah.
how big it is. See, in the mid-'90s, they would release straight-to-video these horror movies, and they were huge.
Yeah, they were.
And I mean, I think I was reading the budget for Leprechaun 3 was $1.8 million. It sold something like 10 million copies of the DVD or the video cassette, so it made its money back tons.
Yeah.
So that's why they keep on making them.
But I'm just surprised that, like, it doesn't even sound like there's anybody that gets involved that is like, I want to really do this right, or I want to really bring something fresh to this. Like, I don't hear any of that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, I don't think you could reboot the series. I don't think
they are
Davis...
rebooting it.
What?
WWE bought the rights to it, and I'm pretty sure they've already filmed it, called Leprechaun Origins.
Okay.
I've gone on IMDb because that's how I found out about Leprechaun in the Hood, and Leprechaun Origins is there, and I read a little bit about how they're rebooting the franchise.
Okay.
But not with Warwick Davis, so I don't think it'll be any good.
No, yeah. Well, but what I'm saying is maybe if somebody modern actually took some time with it, maybe they could make something interesting. I don't know what I would want.
You know what you want in a
I mean, I'm not a
Leprechaun
huge
movie.
horror fan. I don't know that I would want anything out of it, but it just sounds so weird.
Yeah, I
It sounds
agree.
like a very bizarre, flash in the pan kind of a horror series.
It totally is. Because I think Back to the Hood was 2003, so it's been like 10 years since they even made one. Yeah.
Wow, man.
I'm
I'm surprised they made him that late.
I rewatched on Blu-ray The Campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah,
it's really funny. It's one of those movies where it's not like you laugh out loud, but you're kind of laughing throughout the whole movie because things are so stupid. My favorite scene still is Zach Galifianakis' character is going into the Senate race, so he asks his family if they did anything wrong, and his wife says, "Well, I said the Lord's name in vain a couple nights ago," and his name's Marty, and they go over to Zach Galifianakis, and he's getting all like mad because she used the Lord's name in vain, and then his kid says, I hide underneath the stairs at the mall, and I shoot up girls' skirts, and I have a portfolio full of women's cooter pictures. And his wife says, "Well, he can't get mad at him." So it's basically like the Talladega Nights scene, but like these kids just keep on going over the top, and Marty, Zach Galifianakis' character, is being weird. And then, of course, it's Will Ferrell being basically George W. Bush, like blended with a Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And so, the campaign keeps on getting worse and worse, and he punches a baby at one point, and they actually show him punching the baby in slow motion, and the baby's like face gets all.
It's his like Burly Brawl from from the Matrix Revolutions,
and like his pacifier spits out, and it's fucking brilliant.
Oh man!
And it's just because it's also stupid how stupid sometimes political races are.
Yeah.
There's a part where they're having a town hall meeting, and Zach Galifianakis' character busts out this story that Will Ferrell's character wrote in the 3rd grade called At the End of the Rainbow, and he called it communism propaganda. And all these people stand and says, "I ain't gonna vote for no fucking commie." It's like typical Will Ferrell where everything's so stupid, but it's funny. So check it out. It's really good.
They punch Uggy too, right?
Yeah, they do punch Uggy.
The dog
First a
from Lucky
baby, then the
Artist.
world's most famous dog. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, it's pretty funny, and like I said, it's not you laugh out loud a lot. You kind of just laugh through the whole movie.
Yeah.
I rewatched Jennifer's Body, which is an
Whoa. Oh, man.
a
You
horror
watched it once already?
Yeah, I was gonna say we've never
have.
talked about this.
I've
I've still never seen it.
Again, when I go to these used Blu-ray things, and I can get I bought Jennifer's Body, Legend, because I was on a Tom Cruise kick,
Dude.
and what else did I get? I don't know. They're all like $4 ones, and so I ended up spending like $13, and I got 4 Blu-rays. And Jennifer's Body is a movie I remember kind of liking, but not really liking. But I read an article in online or in a magazine. I don't know where the fuck I read it, but they said how underrated the movie was. So I said, I'll give it another try. And it is still pretty good. Diablo Cody's dialogue comes through a little bit, so it kind of distracts from the movie. But I mean, it's the premise is cool, where Megan Fox is basically, she's playing a parody of herself where she's so hot that anybody would want her, and she gets murdered and she gets possessed by a demon, and when she doesn't eat people, she gets weak and ugly, and so her beauty is by consuming people, and it's pretty interesting. If you haven't seen it, the gore effects are really good in it.
Cool.
Done by K&B, of course. They do everything.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I was watching the behind the scenes of it, and Megan Fox is kind of fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And they're talking about them shooting this pool scene where it was like the climax of the movie, and young Neil is in it. I like that guy. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who his name actor is, but
shoot,
he's pretty
yeah.
funny. But anyways, she's like munching on him, and like Jennifer turns, and she has like a demon face and everything. And I'm watching behind the scenes, and they're shooting this whole scene, and it's not Megan Fox in the water. Like, she's afraid to get in the water, and she didn't want like appliances on her face. I was like, really? Yeah. And they were talking about it in the special features, how Megan Fox is really cool, but she didn't want to get these appliances stuck on her face. I'm like, that's not being cool.
Yeah. Yeah, ever since that open letter from the Transformers cast and crew, where they were just like, yeah, she's really obnoxious to work with. I've sort of
and like they were interviewing her in the behind the scenes, and she was, I mean, obviously I cuss too, but she was saying the most obscure references just to like cuss and stuff. It was really weird. I know you'd have to watch it if you ever want to watch the special features of Jennifer's Body.
I'm not sure that I care.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
And then I watched Iron Man 2 again.
Right.
I haven't seen it in a while. Robert Downey Jr. is a stud as Tony Stark, and he's lots of fun. Those movies are pretty fun.
Yeah.
And the last thing I watched will segue right into Brad. I don't know if you watched it, but Brad was cool enough. I don't know if you know this about me and Brad, but we love Dick Van Dyke Show. And Brad texted me earlier last week and says, hey, I have a copy of the Dick Van Dyke Show Revisited, which is from 2004, which they basically shot an extra episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show, but then 50 years later. How long? Yeah, 50 years. 61. So I guess 44 years.
I think it ended in 65.
65. So basically 40 years
Yeah.
since they were on air.
Wow.
And the whole premise of the show is, if you don't know who Alan Brady is Rob Petrie's boss.
And he's like a
Johnny
Johnny Carson
yeah,
character.
like a variety show
Yeah.
guy. And he's in the show he's portrayed by Carl Reiner, and he's this like egotistical guy, and he's always has Rob do crazy things, and he never likes the scripts, and Laura outs him being bald on an episode, and it's so great.
He's abusive to everyone who works who works under him. Yeah.
And he's just a really funny character. So Brad was cool enough to give me that, and watching it, Brad, I don't know if you noticed this, but watching it is how much those characters got back into the characters of who they were. The little things that Dick Van Dyke would do as Rob Petrie when he was talking to Laura, it was just. I thought it was so cool seeing it. I mean, the show's okay, but it's still kind of cool to see all those characters.
It's weird because it's in color, so
Yeah.
it really sets it apart from the series to where it doesn't feel like it is like an extension of the series. And there's that bit where I guess Rob figured out how to create CGI characters of himself, and then there's this little dance number of a video of him standing next to the CGI. It's just like this. Why are we wasting time on this? Like an 80-year-old man did CGI on his home computer.
Yeah.
I
guess that's how Rob
he's that cool.
became creative.
But the whole premise of the movie, or not the movie, the episode, and it's like an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
so it's not
hour,
a half hour like the show. Alan Brady plans to die eventually, and Buddy Sorrell, who Maury Amsterdam obviously couldn't be on the reunion show because he died years ago. But at his character's wake, Rob delivered such an eloquent eulogy. Alan Brady wanted to find out what people would say about him at his eulogy, so he wants to have it done before he passes. And so basically Rob struggles with, should I do this? It's kind of sick. And then Laura wants to own a dance studio, and Alan Brady offers them an exorbitant amount of money to do it.
Yeah, so he's giving him a writing job to write a eulogy for him at his funeral.
Yeah.
It's really funny. And, I think Mary Tyler Moore looks great for how old she is in it. I 70 probably.
They all look pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dick Van Dyke still looks great. And they can still move really well. And, but yeah, I still had fun with it. I thought it was a cute show. And so I really appreciate you doing that for me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank
you, Internet.
Yeah, thanks, Internet. So, Brad, what else did you watch this week?
Gosh, it's already half an hour in, so I don't know.
Go.
I have a buttload of stuff.
It's all right. I mean, you don't have to talk about everything to length, but the stuff that's interesting.
I'll try to keep it short. The first thing I watched was Ryan's secret gay sex tape.
Wait,
His dick is huge, and I didn't know you were in it too, James. Wait. But enough about that. We'll move on to the real stuff. But,
oh, that was good.
I actually watched. Yeah, I was playing that all day.
He's so proud of himself.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought of this 2 months ago. I had to write it out as a script and everything.
Not necessarily the first thing I watched in reality, but organizing things. I watched Toys, which is the Robin Williams film directed by Barry Levinson.
Wow.
And actually, Robin Williams is the top billed, in center character.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really watch the movie, he's not. There's not really a main character other than maybe the general, which is Michael Gambon. There's no standout character.
Yeah.
They're all this family. He's a war general. The rest of them are toy makers. He comes back from Vietnam, has no real purpose in life, and once their brother, who's the toy maker president of the company, dies, he doesn't want to give it to Leslie, who's Robin Williams' character, or any of the other siblings because he doesn't think they're prepared. So he decides to make the general the head of the company. And I feel like this movie was just either an excuse for Barry Levinson to play around with production design, like what kind of crazy stuff can we do with as much money as possible, or it's either meant to be a commentary on how corporate influences destroy creativity in production of stuff.
I don't remember. I've seen it. I don't remember the movie. I remember the poster was Robin Williams in a hat, and it had like a box around it cut out.
Well, yeah,
or
he's
something.
like a Jack in the Box, where the top of the hat is open,
Yeah.
and toys are coming out.
I don't remember the movie though.
Yeah, this movie is basically what I said. Like the main brother dies. He recruits the general brother, and their father's from the army too. So they're like, there's these two ideological sides of the family. They're competing with each other, and once like the general discovers that there's these things called video games, so he wants to make all these war games where, instead of toys being cute and fun and imaginative, it's all about like destroying things. And so he wipes out the whole, cute toy division, and now the company focuses on just, war video games that are like huge screen 3D type stuff, like really advanced things. And then he's creating like a serpent monster in a pit at one point.
So is it a comedy or is it a drama or what is it? I don't remember this movie to save my life.
It's billed as a comedy, but I think it's more of a drama, which brings into play the whole thing. Like, are they trying to is this really a commentary on, he had a problem as a filmmaker with the business end telling him how to make his movie when he wants to make really imaginative, creative stuff. But so I maybe I'm thinking too much into the movie.
I've
but I
always
can
sort
see
of
that.
I've always sort of read it as a movie that felt to me like they had this sort of story that they thought was going to be a comedy, but they also had this sort of commentary about corporations and war and all of that stuff, that they wanted to get this message across, and that as the comedy sort of turned into a dark comedy, drawing that balance was just so hard that the movie, I think, just sort of falls apart on that, on that balance that they were trying to draw. I don't know that I ever thought that like there was something bigger than that. I think it's just a movie that was trying to wear too many hats and breaks because of it. But you could be right.
I don't know. All
I've always sort of seen it as like this is weird, but like Starship Troopers and Weatherman in the same movie. Like those two genres, but in the same movie. Where it's got the wackiness and the commentary of a Starship Troopers, but also has this sort of dark comedy aspect to it.
There's nothing I really laughed out loud at, and it was just like, here's this really weird, like extravagant thing we made, and here's another crazy toy thing, and like the sets are huge in it. I don't know if they're matte paintings, but like they're huge and like ridiculously complex. Like these machines, I'm like, could they actually build that? Like with a budget from like 1991? Like Hook is shot on mostly a soundstage, and,
right.
And this looks like it's real and everything. So I guess they got what they paid for. Like it definitely got their money's worth. So yeah, it was just weird. I remember being funnier or something, but and more like Robin Williams riffing, but it's more drama and stuff.
And I kind of remember it sort of feeling like I wanted to see it when I was a kid. Like I felt like they were pitching it at me, and then I remember my mom saying to me like, "No, that's actually a film for adults."
Yeah, my mom didn't want us to see it.
Yeah, I remember there being.
But
this
watching
whole thing
it,
where
I can't see anything like that's terribly other than it's like it's just not childish.
It's dark and it's not really fun.
Yeah, but there's no like real swearing or graphic stuff in it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And then because of 42, I saw Netflix had like Clear and Present Danger streaming. I'd seen Patriot Games before. I'm pretty sure I saw Clear and Present Danger before, but I didn't remember it too well, so I watched it. And then it sparked
because
me.
It's Harrison Ford, right? Not because Jackie Robinson is in Patriot Games.
Right, yeah. I don't see how you mix that up.
No, I was just curious. I thought maybe you were going to say like, they're the same director or something. Or
I guess that's true. No, it was Harrison Ford. Okay. I was like,
those are cool movies. I like Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I put it on my DVD queue a long time ago to watch the Blu-ray to quality control it, and then it just never came on streaming until now.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, finally I can watch it, and obviously streaming HD isn't, it drops in
No.
and out.
Yeah.
So it's never
But
full HD.
it's a good way sometimes if you're trying to decide whether or not you actually want to own that Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because it'll look better, but maybe it's not a movie you'll watch once a year.
Yeah. And the movie, it's a political thriller. I don't know what much to say about it. It's
it's a cool movie.
Probably the coolest part is when when they're hacking the other White House guy's computer, and that guy realizes it, and then they're like frantically trying to get the information before he shuts it down, and then he realizes it, and he prints out the slip, and then he busts out into the hallway, and the other guy's already there. Like, that's a pretty cool, like, stage scene to me.
Yeah.
It's the one with Willem Dafoe in it, and the guy who plays Ramon Salazar in 24 is like the guy trying to take over the drug lords.
I was that movie in a couple years. It's like
it's good.
Yeah,
it's just but it's mid-90s like political thriller, so it's not super heavy on action. It's more actually like story and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that sparked me because then I like flipped over a little bit, and then The Hunt for Red October was sitting there, and obviously that doesn't have Harrison Ford in it.
That's a great movie,
or Jackie Robinson.
But I'd never seen it before, or Jackie Robinson. So I popped that in, or not popped that in. I pressed play. God, I'm sold. And yeah, that was cool too. I expected more action, I guess. I don't know why I should have.
Before?
No.
No,
this is the first time I saw it. And it wasn't in HD, which sucked.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, yeah,
it's a cool movie though. It's not action. My dad loves that movie because it's more of the intrigue of the submarines and I think it's a great movie.
Early on, for the longest time, I was trying to figure out like why the defection was happening. Like I think halfway through, I finally realized that the Red October sub was like this super sub that the Russians created, and which I don't know if that was made up or is actually real.
I think it's made up.
Like the super stealth sub. But yeah, it was cool. I didn't know Sam Neill was in it.
Is he?
He's the second in command to Sean Connery.
Again, British people playing Russians.
Oh, that's the weird thing. Is most of the ship is Russian people, but everyone's either has British accents or Sean Connery just goes for his regular Scottish accent.
What was it?
Like he's supposed to be Russian.
I literally just watched a movie where there was all these British people on a submarine. Last week's episode of Doctor Who is on a Russian submarine, and they're all British actors, which obviously, I mean, it's it's different, but it was as soon as that started, my brother and I are sitting there and we're like, oh yeah, it's the long tradition of all Russian submarine people being played by
or
just
any
Russians
kind of
in general.
European characters.
Yeah,
still
just
have
being
British
played
accents.
by British people. Yeah.
So yeah, and then I navigated over a little further, and then the
Crimson Tide.
The Sum of All Fears.
Oh,
was on.
No, not nice.
And that I was like, oh, this is one of those things I saw way back in the day that I saw once, and then just kind of didn't go back to. And say what you want about Ben Affleck, but it's weird. He's kind of maybe too young of a Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Like Harrison Ford's so manly, and then Ben Affleck's just kind of like. Well, I walked into that one. And
Harrison Ford's so manly.
He's like a man's man.
Ben Affleck's
just, he's a smart character, but he just seems too boyish.
Yeah.
When you're used to Harrison Ford being Jack Ryan, and even Alec Baldwin. But I thought that movie was a little too
dumb,
complex. Like it's about the Nazis trying to get the Russians and America to fight each other, but it's so like technical as far as like
the Nazis.
The Nazis have gotten a hold of a unexploded nuclear warhead from Israel, and then they have all these little plans to create these strikes that make it look like the Russians attacked us.
Yeah. They blew up Boston at some point.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't even think of that.
It's true. It's true.
I watched this before that happened.
Not because of.
Do you ever feel like sometimes like you watch stuff or encounter stuff and then something similar or related to that happens, and you feel like, is that because I just immersed myself in that? Anyway, but yeah, and then the showdown at the end. There's not like a big climax. It's just like, are you gonna kill me? No, I'm not gonna kill you. Okay, let's just call off the nuke strike.
Yeah.
And then I went back to watching Harrison Ford movies. I finally saw Witness.
That's a great
Oh
movie.
man, you'd never seen Witness?
I'd never seen Witness.
Oh,
and it's a
Yeah,
great
that's
movie.
truly a great movie.
That's
except
great.
for the synth soundtrack that dates it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Horribly.
But I mean,
But
you
remember,
could
you can see Kelly McGillis's boobs in it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
You could. You
It's
could,
not even
you
a
could say
cutaway.
that-
It's like she's just standing in the doorway and it just hangs there for like good 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But
They,
there's actually a plot that's really
Oh, yeah,
nice,
no, that
intelligent.
whole
and
No,
stuff,
it's
story
really
so
cool.
straight for that.
Man,
I think it's
And
one of his
the-
most underrated movies.
Oh yeah, nobody watches that movie for some reason. Like I think more people have seen Frantic, and that movie was made by a pedophile. The synth soundtrack thing, like you could say that about a lot of movies made in that time. Like
True.
you know,
But
if
it
you
made
go
me
back
think-
and watch Lethal Weapon, like that soundtrack is really all Eric Clapton-y and synth.
But you know what it did is because the Kelly McGillis character is named Rachel. I kept thinking I was watching Blade Runner. So
That's true.
I was
That's
like,
true.
really? Those synth soundtrack and
Yeah.
same female character name? That's weird.
And at the end, he's
In
a
the
robot.
80s?
It's weird.
Yeah. On the farm, his
He's an
face
Am-
comes off
He's
and he's
an
a robot.
Amish robot.
Yeah, Amish
he
robot.
still has the beard, but he's all metal underneath.
It wouldn't be metal;
Yeah.
it'd be wood.
And if you look,
he runs on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah,
He's
it's
got a
weird.
fireplace in his chest.
he's a steampunk replicant.
Yeah,
And then Viggo Mortensen's in the background as
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
Amish guys.
right. That was back when he would just show up in movies and kill people.
And then I went back to watching Ben Affleck movies because then Changing Lanes was on the list,
Oh,
which is another movie from the late or early 2000s that I just saw once and didn't get back to. And,
and it's great.
I wouldn't say it's great, but it's good.
Yeah. I think it's
I
definitely
remembered it as
underrated.
being more of like a spy versus spy where they were just like one after another, like upping, screwing each other over. But it was a little more subdued than that. And then I forgot about the whole plot of what his law firm was
right.
trying to scam that charity out of money. Like,
Yeah.
and seeing him go from being such a corrupted asshole to like realizing his mistakes and
I think I like it just because the whole ethical dilemma that both those characters go through.
yeah.
Like yeah, there are these moments where, especially early on, man, that scene when Samuel L. Jackson drives by in the car and like holds up the thing and is like, I broke the car you're in. You're
took your
about to
tire
crash.
off, yeah.
Yeah, like that is so satisfying in that moment because you want him to get some revenge and you sort of understand like, dude, you really fucked this guy's life up. But as it plays forward and you realize like maybe if these people were just nice to each other to begin with, none of this would happen. I really liked that movie. Always have.
Yeah. Definitely better than I remember. And then the last thing I saw was a toss-up between Identity Thief and Spring Breakers. And I used my free ticket on Identity Thief. And guess what? This movie is way better than I thought it would be.
Really?
It's actually really funny.
What?
Wow.
Dirty funny. And it actually has a really strong emotional core to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they actually make you feel sympathy for Melissa McCarthy's character.
Huh.
I was sort of shocked.
Me
Me and you are having the same reactions.
Yeah,
Do you notice that?
we are both a little.
Yeah, from the previews, you just think it's like this dumb,
Yeah. They sold it as just like, oh, here's some dumb mid March comedy because there's nothing else out.
yeah, but
Wow. That's too
there's,
bad.
they both have great character arcs. Like Jason Bateman lives in a world of such rules, and then when you find out like Melissa McCarthy's character, like why she became identity thief, and it's not like established that it may be even true, but it's just like and how it resolves itself at the end. Like you can't imagine like starting out in the movie like how could these people actually become friends, and it actually kind of makes sense by the end. So and then it also has one of the most like I don't usually get creeped out by movies and or snakes in general, but this has the most like creepy snake scene, and the snake is obviously CGI and it still made me cringe with what happened. So kudos to them for making a obviously fake looking snake.
Is it the act the
Shitter.
snake is doing, or is it the animation of the snake?
It's I guess the animation of the snake and what it's doing,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like it's not doing anything special. It's just like it's just being a normal snake, but something about it is just like, oh my god, I just want to get out of the theater right now.
Oh man.
So that is all I've been watching
Very cool.
So James,
Man.
finally to you.
Thanks
for sticking in this long.
No, not at all. I watched Jersey Shore Shark Attack this week, and I will say, remember when I said I watched a lot of great stuff? Okay, this one not as much. What's weird about this movie is I don't know how to. I haven't written my review yet, and I don't know really how to yet because all the other shark movies. They usually have, there's some gimmick. The shark is huge. The shark has two heads. The shark swims in the sand. Yeah, exactly. In this movie, none of the sharks are freaks. Well, they are albinos, but they're just sharks. The freaks are the people. And so what the entertainment comes out of, it's not even trying to be a horror movie. It's really trying to be a comedy that's lampooning the Jersey Shore.
Which the sharks have spiky hair and sweet abs?
No, that would have been cool. No, it's just all these Jersey Shore jokes, and I think part of the problem is that while I think they're funny, the characters have names like Polly Balzac.
I'm gonna call you Polly Balzac from now on.
The women are
my friend Ryan. Here's Polly Balzac. Here's his dog.
The women are Nookie, J Money, and BJ. Instead of the situation, it's the complication, which is actually when he explains why he does the thing where he lifts up his shirt and he's like, when ladies see these, things get complicated. I think that's way better than the actual situation's explanation. Because my six pack is the situation. No, that's not as creative as when ladies see my six pack, things get complicated. I think that's a better name.
Yeah,
that's a better nickname. Anyway, but it's not great. Don't see that movie. But look for my review. I'm sure it'll be funny. Maybe I'll write it tomorrow with Starfest. The next big thing that was actually, we'll get to whether or not it was good. I sort of dropped the ball. I'm sort of the guy here who every time a new show comes out, I will go check it out. But when I heard that NBC was making Hannibal, I was like, yeah, I'll check it out at some point. Because I never thought that a network television show would have the balls to let something creative and dark and twisted get on television on their channels. But I forgot two things, and what I forgot was that it's created by Brian Fuller and directed, at least the first 3 episodes so far, directed by David Slade. Brian Fuller is the guy who made Dead Like Me, Pushing Daisies. He worked on Heroes for a while. And David Slade directed
Twilight,
Hard Candy,
and that
300 Days or 30 Days a Night, and the second Twilight movie.
And that Munsters remake.
Oh,
Brian
really?
Fuller.
Oh, Brian Fuller.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Brian Fuller probably he seemed to me like a weird choice for this because I was like, his shows are usually sort of whimsical. But what I realize is great about him is that Dead Like Me and Pushing Daisies are both shows that relied a lot on his creativity when it came to the way people died. And that is very present here and in the darkest way possible. This show is really good. I really like this show. It's the first show in years. I'm really enjoying Bates Motel. I'm still watching Revolution. I think it's fun. But this is the first show in years that an episode ends, and I can't wait for the next one, as a new show. It's really fantastic. It has creeped me out, really kind of disturbed me in some of the murders, some of just the ways. So the story is it's Will Graham, who's the guy from Manhunter, Red Dragon, that guy. In this case, he's a much more secluded
Edward Norton.
No, yeah, but it's not played by Edward Norton. It's Hugh Dancy, who does a great job. But in this case,
William Peterson.
In this case, he's much more reclusive. He's got that sort of superpower that everybody like the Mentalist or whatever the guy from Boondock Saints has, where they can go to a crime scene and they can deconstruct it really well. But I think what makes this one special is that the way he does that is he sort of imagines himself as the killer, goes back to a zero spot where this is what the crime scene was like beforehand, and then walks through the crime as if he were the one doing it.
And goes, it was a firefight!
Yeah. And because he does that, two things are true. One, he's all about figuring out the personality of the person. and figuring out who they are and why they do things the way they do. And that mixes in with the fact that because he's thinking it out himself, he is actually really twisted, and he has these horrible nightmares, and he doesn't like talking to people. He doesn't like having to talk to a therapist. And of course, after he kills somebody in the first episode, a bad guy, he gets assigned a therapist, and it's Hannibal Lecter. Oh no. Who is played by Mads Mikkelsen, who's the bad guy in Casino Royale.
Is he incarcerated at this time?
No. He's
a free
just
man.
a dog. Nobody knows what he is. But oh man,
Bonesaw knows.
It's not that movie. What do you?
he is both creepy and I mean present and killing people, but in a way that the other characters don't know. And like the way they're handling the whole cannibalism thing is messed up but cool. And again, I can't believe this is on network television, other than the fact that when they come back from commercial it says viewer discretion advised for a really long time. Like it comes up as
like,
the show
you
keeps
paying
going,
attention?
and it's
We're
like,
not fucking around
no,
here.
seriously, like people are gonna get eaten. And just really disturbing imagery, things that sound simple. Like in the second episode, he falls asleep in a hotel or in a hospital, and he's dreaming that he's sitting in the chair that he's fallen asleep in. They don't reveal that he's sleeping. It's just that he's sitting there, and all of a sudden an elk walks down the hallway past the door, and it's this like weird elk that's got like feathers on its hindquarters and stuff.
What is this, Twin Peaks or something? What's
No,
going on?
it's got this weird edge of it, and that's where the Brian Fullerness of it comes in, is that his sort of wacky alternate reality surrealism is in this show, but in a dark way, and it's fantastic. I am loving it. So check if you're into that kind of stuff, if you like the whole Silence of the Lambs series, I definitely think this is worth checking out. I would say maybe look at it the way that Bates Motel does, where don't try to fit it into the canon or anything like that. Just enjoy the way that they're building the suspense around Lecter and the relationship that this guy and Lecter are going to have. It's really cool, man. And I don't know where it's going to go. Like so check that out. And the last thing I saw, I got a chance to go to the movies. And I went to a traditional theater, and I saw The Place Beyond the Pines, which is the new movie from Derek Cianfrance. I don't know how to say his last name. He's the guy who made Blue Valentine. Did either of you see Blue Valentine?
Mm-mm.
I wanted to, especially because of the whole NC-17 debacle over that movie. But
You want to see Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling eat out Michelle Williams.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Place Beyond the Pines is really hard to talk about because if you've seen the trailer, they make it clear that it's going to tell these sort of two stories about these guys who are fathers, and they have these sort of ethical dilemmas, and clearly their stories are going to intertwine some. This movie is so much more than that. It's like a crime drama epic. It spans a way longer period of time than you think it will, involves way more characters than you think it will. It goes places you don't expect that. Like the way this movie is written is so ballsy. It does things that you're not supposed to be able to do, and it does it really well.
You can't do that on TV.
No, it really it's hard to talk about. I will say that they separate the stories enough that like you watch one story and then you watch the other, sort of. And when they transition from one to the next, you sort of don't want you're sort of like, well, I'm really into this story. I don't want you to switch over to this story, but they get you in and get you liking that character so quickly, and they do it more than just once. And every time when they start a new story, you're like, oh, we're ending that story. Oh, but I guess it's okay. It's masterful. If you are in any way interested in that movie based on the trailer, I think you need to go see it. If you like, just a good drama, this is one of the best I've seen this year.
Can you reveal what The Place Between the Pines is?
Beyond the Pines?
Beyond the Pines?
No.
Between the Pines
It's
is
not,
a road.
It's not specified. I think I sort of know what they're talking about. But that's not the point of the movie. It's a weird title. I will admit that, but I don't know what you could call the movie that would make it make sense, because it is so it's not one thing, if that makes sense.
It's probably just more trees.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas tree.
Obviously.
farm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really loved it, and everybody is great. Ryan Gosling is amazing. Who's the other guy?
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper is great. I will even say Eva Mendes. There's a scene Eva Mendes has where she's in bed with Ryan Gosling. Spoilers. And she's out of focus.
Fucking?
No. I mean, they clearly, that happened. They're naked in bed.
Yeah.
But she's out of focus, and we're paying attention to what he's saying, and he says something in such a way, like he says something really powerful and sort of sweet. And
This has never happened to me before.
yeah, exactly. And her reaction,
Oh my god.
her performance out of focus is really powerful. If that makes sense, like because you get what
It's okay,
she's
baby.
doing.
Secretly disappointed.
Anyway, you just go see Place Beyond the Pines. It's really great, or rent it when you get a chance to. I don't think it should be missed this year. That's everything I saw this week.
Very cool. Lots of things, guys, huh?
Yeah.
Box office note. Wait, hey. I need to pay some freaking bills first.
That's true.
Here's what our sponsors want you to go spend money at places that we go to.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smoke and Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
Hey, Jimmy Valentine, that was a really great game-winning score you had there at the sporting event.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate that. You can look for that card really soon at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. They got tons of sports memorabilia.
Jimmy Valentine, RKO Radio News. Jimmy, what makes Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics your favorite comics store in the Colorado area?
I'm telling you, forget about it. A comic collector like me, I can save 20% on a hold slot. Duh. Plus, it's hard for me. I'm on the road all the time. If I want the Amazing Spider-Man and I'm not around, it's in my hold slot.
Jimmy Valentine, what do you have to say about your recent allegations about steroid use?
I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to tell you that if I want to get Magic the Gathering cards, I go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. The little square Jimmy Jr., he loves those. So go to 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Nevada, Colorado. They'll take really good care of you.
Hold on, Jimmy, one more
Jimmy,
question.
one more question,
Wait,
Jimmy.
no, don't go yet.
I wonder what won the box office last week.
This is the box office stats.
You know what, James? I can tell you.
I can tell you too.
42 won the box office. It's actually the highest grossing baseball movie opening weekend ever. $27 million.
Really?
Yeah.
It was sold out last week when we tried
It
to
was.
go. So
Did
that
you
makes sense.
you didn't get a chance to see it?
I didn't.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I went to see Place Beyond the Pines instead.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We should see it though. I liked it so much that I really want to get a Jackie Robinson jersey.
Really? Dude, that's
Yeah.
cool. Well, and it's 42, so it's a Hitchhiker's Guide number.
That's right. What you said.
Yeah, you know.
I do know.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's the number one movie. This is the time where we're like, should we spend money on Blu-rays this coming week?
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, sort of.
Yeah,
you sort
maybe.
of should.
Maybe I'll wait.
You might. Gangster Squad is the big one. Actually, that's not true. The one that's selling the most based on digital bits is the 3D version of Jurassic Park, which is cool. That comes out this week. But
It's
then
good
yeah,
3D.
yeah,
Might be worth
3D.
it. Here's your
I
time.
mean, if you already own the Blu-ray, definitely don't upgrade just for the 3D. I wouldn't say. But yeah, Gangster Squad comes out this week, which
Hit
Meh.
me.
yeah,
Hit me.
I liked it the most of us, and I would still say rent it. Brian's The Impossible. The
Oh,
movie
yeah.
about,
I love The Impossible.
Yeah.
You definitely should see that movie. It's one of the movies that you should have saw last year that I'm the only one who did.
Yeah, I still now is my chance to see it. There's a little Matt Damon movie that snuck through called Promised Lands that I know nothing about.
With Joe Krasinski.
Written
Written by
John Krasinski.
John
Oh.
Krasinski.
Yeah.
from Office.
And Frances McDormand is in it too.
I wonder if he looks at the camera in it. I mean,
They're
he's-
stealing
I
our
mean-
oil.
I mean, he's a cool guy and everything, but I mean, he's always looking at the camera.
Is that movie about stealing oil?
Or fracking.
It's fracking,
yeah.
Oh, it's about fracking. Oh, okay.
I heard it's really good though.
It's fracking great, guys. That should be on the box.
But it did get a very wide release because it didn't do as well in limited release.
Because it was about fracking.
Yep.
A haunted house, which is that goddamn
That's pretty far down there. 'cause I
Wayans
guess it
movie.
must
Oh
be
yeah,
horrible.
no, nobody cared. The entire 7th season of Touched by an Angel,
Very nice.
and a Blu-ray re-release of The Great Gatsby, the Robert Redford version.
I heard
So,
that one's really boring.
I didn't love it, and I like the book, and I don't love the Robert Redford one.
Well-
and my mom got so when she saw the trailer, she got so pissed. She was like, "I can't believe they're remaking a Robert Redford movie." And I was like, "It was a book. You can remake books." And then we had this whole argument about whether or not you can remake a movie based on a book, and I still say absolutely.
Me and Brad last week were trying to think of funny movies to have that horrible song where it's like, "Yeah, with me."
Oh, that trailer's really bad.
I know, and you know what?
They should not let
Seriously,
him use
that
music.
trailer's been around for a year,
Oh yeah,
and it's been
well,
in
that
in
movie
front
was
of
supposed
so
to come out
many
last
movies.
summer.
And it's like
or
4
last
minutes
fall.
long.
I know it's
Yeah.
they should really have a new trailer. It's unbelievable that they don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, there is one, but there's an international trailer they don't show here.
Well, I guess the only good news is it comes out in a month, 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, it's coming quick.
I feel like we should have a new South Park season out on DVD at this point in the year.
I'm not seeing one. Maybe next
There's
week.
no one? Damn
I'll
it.
hold out. There is 50 Shades of de Sade. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like some movie that's
Is it-
trying to rip
Is it
off of 50 Shades of Grey.
Sade, like, you know,
Yeah,
The
yeah.
art.
Wait,
Artist.
like the Marquis de Sade?
50 Days of Sade.
It's yeah. Well, there's really nothing. It's not. It's a light week.
Yeah,
Come on,
slowing down
DVDs
a
and
little
Blu-rays, pick it up.
bit.
Yeah.
Slowing down a little bit.
Do you not want my money?
Cliff Richard live in Berlin. I don't even know who Cliff Richard is.
Have you heard the news?
Unspool the real news.
It's real news.
Well, we sort of talked about last week, or at least in the deleted version of last week's show, the fact that I saw Pitch Perfect and thought that it was all right.
You didn't love it like I did.
Yeah, no, it did not wow me. It was somewhere between not being Glee and being Glee, and I would have wanted it to not be Glee, but there was still some Glee in there.
After he jerked off to Anna Kendrick, he had that
There's
bit of
a
remorse.
great shot in
She
that-
is great, dude.
There's a great shot in that movie with Anna Kendrick though, where it's like a minute, right under zeroing in on her breasts, where she's like leaning down and you could see down her shirt and stuff. Just like a minute.
I don't care. She smiles and she makes the whole movie good. Anyway, they're gonna make her smile.
Jesus, put that back in your pants. Ryan and
Computer
I are in
just
the room.
raised and he spun it.
They're gonna make her smile in another movie. In 2015, they're gonna make another Pitch Perfect movie. So Ryan,
Yeah.
Pitch Perfecter.
his top 10 list: number 1, Pitch Perfect 2; number 2, Star Wars.
Absolutely. May the force be with me.
Yeah. We got to see a sneak peek or some set photos of what Electro is going to look like, or at least what he's going to look like in one scene of the new Spider-Man movie.
He looks like Ultimate Electro.
He does. He's all blue. He's veiny. He's got a cool hoodie with lights on the inside, so he's trendy.
I've always said this. I thought Electro would be a cool villain on screen.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like, especially since every superhero pantheon has a guy that gets struck by lightning or whatever and has super lightning powers. But he's one of those guys that's very comic booky. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he relies on you to not give a shit about the way the science works and just be like, oh, this guy can shoot lightning and stuff. And maybe this time they'll do it different. Maybe he'll only be able to shoot lightning from nearby.
Maybe they'll blend it like with the shocker, where they'll have like armbands or something that he can.
Yeah,
shoot.
or maybe he can just sort of sense it, so like he can.
Kind of
if
looks
you're
like
standing
the
near
Emperor right there.
yeah.
Oh my
he
god,
totally does.
I was waiting to chime in with the Emperor thing. Like, he's got the hoodie on, he's got a blue face, he's
You're
got
right.
lightning out of his hands.
Oh yeah. Well, but I was gonna say, maybe if Spider-Man is next to a car, he can make all the electricity jump out of that car and shock Spider-Man. Maybe he won't necessarily be like the Emperor, where he
Spider-Man's
shoots lightning
like,
at people.
I'll never join you
You know what I'd like to see in the movie too?
You will die.
Is Spider-Man use his ingenuity too? Because in the comics, he invented a suit that had rubber insulin in it, so he couldn't get electrocuted.
Yeah.
And to defeat Electro,
It had insulin in it,
or
like to keep his diabetes
insulation. I don't know what you'd call
at
it.
bay. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call it, but
Yeah.
it was rubber.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks cool. It may be that the rest of the movie he's going to be naked and blue. But
Like
at
Dr.
least here-
Manhattan?
Yeah.
Cock
Or
swinging
blue
in there.
dongs?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, and we saw Jamie Foxx's dick last year, so
It would be
Why not
interesting to
just
see
once
Jamie
every
Foxx
year?
play a bad guy too.
that's true. That is true.
'Cause
Yeah.
I can't think of anything where he's like not a good person in a movie.
Right.
He was
I feel like
in,
there's something.
Toys, actually. I just remembered.
Was he?
Oh,
He
really?
plays the security guard when they're peeping on Robin Williams and Robin Wright doing it.
Horrible bosses. I can't remember anything about a pimp named Slickback. No, not a pimp named Slickback. What's his pimp name in that movie?
Motherfucking Jones.
Motherfucking Jones. I can't. No, Motherfucking Jones is a good guy. Never mind. Yeah.
We'll see.
When the year 2000 happened, everybody was like, well, everybody in movies was like, Fox is gonna have to change their name because now they sound old, and then it didn't happen, and now it's happening. Fox is actually going to change 20th Century Fox to 21st Century Fox.
Well, one division of the company.
Yeah, but I mean, I would assume that will mean that logo is going to change. There
No,
would be a
not the
one on
film
there.
division.
I
It's
thought
still
that was
20th. It's just like the entertainment part. So, like, if they make a video game or something, it'll be 21st century.
Oh, I thought that the when I read it, I thought 20th television stays the same, and Fox, like just no new the normal Fox stays the same. But I thought that
No, what I read is like just the film division preserves it, so it'll still have that
Oh, you're right.
searchlight thing going on.
You're right. You're right.
I know.
Speaking of things where you might be wrong, though,
Hmm?
Alan Richson, which you know Alan Richson, Brad, you're a big fan of Alan Richson.
We're buddies. We play golf all the time.
He says that everything you've read about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie on the internet is wrong, including probably the fact that Alan Richman is in the movie.
Probably.
So he
Does
may have
that
undermined
mean
himself.
Danny
there.
Woodburn is not cast as Splinter now?
Yeah, suddenly.
Hey, Turtles, make sure that you get me some pizza.
He's gonna
Yeah.
run around and kick all the turtles in the balls.
Michael
Like,
Bay, in no way involved in the production.
No. Megan Fox.
Megan Fox not in the movie.
Doesn't exist at all.
Not even a person.
Not a real person.
The turtles are in the movie, but they're not CG. They're actually just turtles. They're live turtles. Yeah. I don't.
It's just an hour and a half of turtles in a terrarium, and
And then a big middle finger at the end.
It's
Like
it's
these are supposed to
actually
be aliens.
it's an anthology film. There's a period after each word. One movie's about teenagers, one movie's about mutants, one movie's about ninjas, and one movie's about turtles.
It's like a Robert Altman film.
Robert Altman, TMNT.
Oh man, that would be great. I would see that movie.
Me too.
Oh man.
Ninja cuts, I guess.
Oh, man. And on the news of just stupid Michael Bay news, so they're filming a bunch of Transformers 4, I'm sorry, in China, and in order to cast the roles of the Chinese characters in the film, China has created a reality television show, the winners of which will be in the film. The best way to cast any movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, really.
Well, we know Michael Bay cares about acting in movies. so.
Yeah, if you can wash his car, you can get a job.
Well, I still think the scene in Armageddon where Bruce Willis locks Ben Affleck in the airlock is pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I will defend Michael Bay every day of the week. This is a silly thing. I mean, they're probably just going to be in the background running away from giant robots, so it probably doesn't matter. But
And these are Japanese,
Chinese.
and they're going to be in an American movie or just a
Oh, yeah.
Chinese movie?
Well,
that
they're
he's
filming.
financing?
No, they're filming part of the movie in China. Yeah, and I think China.
Oh,
if
this is
I-
for
if I remember
Transformers.
right-
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, China might also be involved in the production. Like they might have some money in this movie, but now I can't remember. Because China has become a huge market for films. There's going to be.
Iron Man 3.
Is it Iron Man 3 has a
has
different version
different
of the
version.
film for just specifically for China. like with extra scenes with Chinese actors in it, just because they're trying to appeal to that market more. And especially on a big movie like this where you need $500 million to make and market the movie.
They're about to say 500 million people.
You need 500 million people to go see this movie.
Do you think they're going to spend $500 million on that movie?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would be surprised if that movie didn't cost. If the production budget on that movie is smaller than $250 million, I would be shocked. And then usually with that
$200 million in
250. I would say.
I mean, $250 million in like, what do you call it? Ads and stuff. What do you call that? Like, why can't I think
Marketing.
of the marketing?
Product
Thank you.
placement. You're talking about product placement.
Yeah, no. $250
and
million in
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the estimate for back when Avatar came out was that movie cost $400 to $500 million to produce, and then the marketing for that movie was almost equal to that.
Jeez.
I mean, they were saying that in all costs together, that movie probably cost more than $1 billion to make. It made $2 billion, so it worked. But a lot of times when you look at a movie budget, I mean, it depends on how much marketing you see and stuff like that. We don't get all of it. The truth is, if you live in LA, there's every street corner, is
Billboards and
there's
posters on
billboard,
storefronts.
Yeah, exactly, all of that stuff. And for movies that we don't ever see that kind of marketing for, Anyway, the estimate I've heard is that a lot of times you can simply just double whatever the production budget is, and that's what they need to make back to break even. So, like, if a movie like Serenity, back when Serenity came out, I think it was $20 million, $25 million to make that movie, and then it made back 26 or something like that in theaters. That was not going to be enough for that movie to get a sequel because they needed at least another $20 million to break even. I mean, marketing is a huge chunk of change on those films, especially on something as big as Transformers, where they're going to market it in other regions. So, yeah. I would be surprised if that movie doesn't cost them $500 million.
Can I give a quick shout out to some 3 really funny videos that appeared on the web this week?
Sure.
2 from Patton Oswalt. Okay, I'll do it myself.
I thought you said you were going to give a shout out.
You said you were going to give shout outs, yeah.
I was hoping like when you would jump in, like,
the Star Wars
the
thing?
Star Wars filibuster, and then the
I knew where you were going. I didn't want to step on
thing.
your toes. I was like, oh yeah, Brad's going to bring something to the table. I'm not going to steal it from him.
Wow, that's a first. Usually just jump in and derail me.
Yeah.
If you can find it, you can't find it.
It's hidden somewhere on
if
the
you've been
internet.
living under a rock, Patton Oswalt did this Dark Knight parody where he teaches Batman about death.
Yeah, it's great.
Dresses the Penguin.
It's so good.
And then
it's from those same people who've done all the ones of like sort of the parody of the end of Dark Knight, where Batman can't understand that Two-Face or that Scary Face and Harvey Dent are the same person. So when Harvey turns his head, Batman thinks that Harvey has shown up.
And then the other one where it's Dark Knight Rises and Miranda Tate's like got him cornered.
Oh yeah,
he's describing like how he banged her. And, Catwoman.
He does. Yeah, he doesn't mind that he's gonna die because he had sex with her.
Yeah, and then the other one was the Star Wars filibuster. And then the last one was I'm just blanking on it because we talked about the other 2 so much. The Harrison Ford. On Jimmy Kimmel, not wanting to talk about Star Wars, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. That was really good
because he plays it so seriously. So
yeah,
those are some gems for you.
There was a really funny. I don't know if you guys ever watched Conan O'Brien years ago when he wasn't even that big and his set wasn't that good. Harrison Ford was on there for I don't even know 6 days and 7 nights, and he came on and
I like that movie.
Harrison Ford sat down and Conan, it's a great interview, and Conan says, "Well, thank you so much for being on my show." He says, "Yeah, I guess I can be on this not very good show," and like Harrison Ford's playing it like he can't believe he's slumming it, and it's really funny.
Oh man, it's good.
So this week it's my turn to pick a comic book.
It is,
and I'm sticking to the theme that James started last week.
All Spider-Man all the time.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
It is a Spider-Man one.
Oh,
but
I'm out.
It's written by Joe Kelly, and I found out about it through my Spider-Man Chronicle book I have, where it's 50 years of Spider-Man stories. And what the book does is it highlights a story a month for 50 years. Doesn't matter what series or Spider-Man it is. I mean, for the first 15 years, it's just amazing because that's the only Spider-Man title.
Yeah.
But it starts branching off, and one was Web Spinners. And Web Spinners was Spider-Man not tied to any continuity, except what they did is said they went to comic book writers and artists and said, hey, if you want to tell a story in any part of Spider-Man's career, you can write it for how many issues you want it, whatever characters you want in it, as long as it fits in Spider-Man's timeline. And Joe Kelly picked one where Peter Parker is going to his senior prom. And he's going to his senior prom with, at this time in high school, his girlfriend was Betty Brant, and Betty Brant was Jane Jonah James's assistant at the Daily Bugle. She dropped out of high school, and she became an assistant for JJ.
She's a bad girl.
Yep, so she's older than Peter. But Peter's also, it's such a great story. Peter's also trying to get this grant because he can't afford the scholarship to enroll into ESU without the grant because him and Aunt May don't have money. So this whole arc is predicated on him getting this grant and developing a certain kind of chemical that bonds to things. And at
glue?
It's not glue.
Okay.
James. And so at the same time, Flash Thompson's girlfriend, Liz Allen, is really attracted to Peter because he's such a nice guy and Flash Thompson is such a meathead.
Yeah.
And so the prom's coming up, and Liz Allen wants Peter to ask her to the prom. So he does because he's tired of being bossed around, and he takes a day off, and the Sandman attacks, and he takes his experiment and throws in the Sandman, and it makes the Sandman mutate. And it's a great story because it deals with what happens if Spider-Man and Peter Parker take a day off, that he forgets his responsibilities as not only a person but as a superhero. And so he's conflicted with it. But he also ends up, then Betty Brant wants to go to prom with him, so he has 2 dates to prom.
Oh.
And then he finds out that Mary Jane next door, who he's never met, wants to go to prom with him, and he says yes, so Aunt May sets that up.
This is all proof that he was never meant to be a dweeby, loveless dude.
Yeah, so he had 3 dates to prom, and there's... and when Aunt May finds out, there's a great...
Does it turn into a wacky sitcom where he does all 3... he goes with all 3 of them and has to juggle his time and not let them meet each other?
No, he doesn't tell...
Okay.
It starts that way where he's not going to tell any of them about it.
Yeah.
And then Aunt May finds out that he has 3 dates. And so he shows up at home, and he doesn't know how he's going to get out of dates with any of them.
Yeah.
And she has 3 corsages for him. And he says, well, what do you get me 3? She says, because you're a she's basically telling him that you can't do that to people. You're playing with people's emotions. And he learns another, responsibility thing. And it's a really great story, and it's really cute.
Dude, this sounds awesome.
And he realizes that Flash Thompson's abused by his father, and that his father thinks he's a loser because Liz Allen wanted to go to prom with Peter Parker. And so he finds a way where Flash Thompson can save face. It's really good.
Oh, man.
So he lets Liz Allen smack him, and it's really cool. So Flash Thompson doesn't get abused by his father because, there's some heavy issues.
Oh, yeah.
And then Betty Brant doesn't want to go with him, and then Mary Jane flakes out because she's Mary Jane.
Yeah.
And so he ends up going to prom with nobody.
Oh, wow.
And it's just
that makes me so excited to talk to Joe Kelly.
I know. It's a really
Man.
great story. And one of those ones that it's a hidden gem that he just wrote because they said, hey, you can write whatever you want. And people know that when he writes Spider-Man, it's usually pretty good.
How many issues is it?
3.
Cool.
It's really good. And you can pick it up at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for $1 an issue.
No way.
It's in the back issues, which you can get half off. And they're freaking $2.09 was the price on the issue. So
man.
It was $1.05. So I spent $3 on 3 great issues.
Wow.
So you should definitely pick it up. And
if that sounds good to you, you should run over there and get them before I do.
Yeah, I'm really digging this Web Spinners tell. I've never read them before, but I've been buying a lot of them.
Cool.
And it's so cool seeing writers and artists that aren't handcuffed by continuity, and they can tell whatever story they want.
That's the way Spider-Man should be.
Absolutely. So yeah, pick it up. And it's Web Spinners issues. I didn't think I said 7 through 9.
Cool. And then take it to Denver Comic Con, get Joe Kelly himself to sign it.
I'm going to have him sign it. I'm going to put it in front of him, and I'm going to see how surprised he is that I have Web Spinners Tells a Spider-Man.
That's pretty cool.
I hope he's going to be over the moon.
Wouldn't it suck if he were like, yeah, everybody makes me sign this one?
I know, but I really...
another web.
Another website. I didn't even like this story.
Yeah.
It's such trash.
Did this for a paycheck.
because I also love his Rhino story. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm really hoping I can get him on because I want to talk to him about his process for writing Spider-Man.
I just want to make him pay for making me cry in public.
So this week on the Real Nerds podcast, we had special guests. They were cool enough to see the movie we saw this week with us. And also, they're going to talk about their movie called The Aviation Cocktail, which you can see for yourself not this coming week. I guess it might be this coming week.
April
because-
26th.
By the time this comes up, yeah.
Yeah, by the time this comes up. It's the April 26th through May 2nd at the C Film Center at 2510 East Colfax Avenue in Denver, Colorado. And they told us they have 2 showings a day, one at 2 and one at 7. And if you go to the one on Saturday at 7 afterwards, you can have a Q&A with the filmmakers, David Higgins, and the producer, Robert. So
Yeah, Dave is the director.
Dave is the director, and Robert, and also the cast members will be there, so you should check them out.
So cool.
And
They were great
here's-
guys.
Yeah, and so not only are they going to tell us about their movie, they're going to talk to you about Oblivion, which we saw as well. So enjoy. So why don't you all introduce yourselves to our loyal listeners of 2?
I'm David Higgins. I'm the writer-director.
And I am Bobby DeLine, and I produced the film.
And I am Billy DeLine, and I had a cameo in the film.
Very cool. So you know what, guys? Let's start at the beginning. What got you guys into making movies? Is Aviation Cocktail your first movie, or what did you do first? What made you love movies?
Well, I, like you, have ridiculously stupid tattoos.
Do you? Stupid. Excuse me, sir.
I mean, amazing.
Thank you.
Well played.
Mine are Star Wars themed, and that's sort
Awesome. You know what? My tattoos will always be amazing. They'll never be superior. Yeah, I have way dumber ones than the ones you see.
We're only 1 beer deep right now, so
Keep in mind, this is radio, and we cannot see what's happening.
No, yeah.
Let's get back
So,
on
Let's talk
subject
about
here.
more things that are happening around us. There's a clock.
But it's internet radio, so you can say fuck.
oh fuck
which is
that.
yeah.
I'm a child of the '80s. We grew up on Star Wars and in Indiana Jones and stuff like that. Probably
Yeah.
similar to you guys, and so
Absolutely.
I just at one point realized that this was the only thing I could do or was willing to do for a career, and so we met each other online.
This is
Oh
true.
wow. Like on filmmakers spot, like some kind of
On Zusk.com?
yeah.
One of those dating services. Which one was it?
Colorado Production Resource Guide is the best place to hook up.
men seeking men who like film.
He was looking for a job actually, and we were at the time was producing a western, and then we said, "Well, let's work together." And the western didn't happen, but
Aw.
it's up next because it was a bigger budget, so we did this instead,
Right.
and that's how all the magic started. The end.
What about you?
I'm kind of the same way. I mean, from a young age, it was either write a paper or do a video project, and I always would choose to do the video project as kind of the easy way out. But it was fun to be creative, and I kind of found out that I was decent at it. And so when I went to college again, it was like, okay, should I go to real school or film school? So, I ended up doing that, and then like he said, we met online, and I think Billy kind of came along for the ride.
Yeah, I'm the younger brother, so I'm the guy that
That's
gets
why you have
stuck
the
in all
same
the
last name.
Exactly. So I get stuck in all the terrible situations, and so I end up tagging along through everything and through all the drunken kicks in the nuts and crazy shit that happened. I figured, like,
So are you the
Well,
Ted
that's kinda
Raimi
fun.
of the group then?
He likes cameras.
I like cameras.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
cameras.
cool.
Yeah. Cool. So how did the Aviation Cocktail come about? You're the writer and director. Where did the idea come from? And tell us about the movie.
It's sort of loosely based on stories I'd heard about my grandfather. He was in World War II, and when he came back to a small town in Nebraska, he had to deal with rural life, and it's how I imagine he dealt with it. So the story's sort of about these war veterans that are dealing with PTSD before it was labeled as such. It was, shell shock back then, and so that, and I spiced it up with a little Badlands serial killer action comes through town, and then the title sort of came from a martini. How do you make a martini? You throw in a bunch of stuff, you shake it up, you pour it out. So, these people their lives are turned upside down and then shaken up, and then when it's poured out, no one's left unscathed, and that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Oh my god, I love your title now.
Before you hated it, though.
No. Before I didn't. I was like, that's weird. And now, oh man, that's good.
Do you like lavender martinis?
No. What do you say? No. I'm a writer. So anytime that you explain a metaphor that I didn't understand before, I'm like, that's impressive. I like that. So,
Thanks.
yeah.
I just made it up.
That's okay. Wait, you made up the aviation cocktail or the lavender martini?
Oh,
Because
The lavender is an ingredient in an actual aviation cocktail. It is a real drink.
it was popular in
oh.
the 30s, like in the what do you call it? The
past?
Yeah.
Past.
the swingin' 30s.
Yeah, the Great Gatsby era.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, because I mean, I noticed watching the trailer, it is a period piece, so it's an independent film. So was that hard shooting that way? I mean, finding
Yes.
the old cars and
It was the stupidest thing I could have ever done. Was on a,
and is this your first feature length?
yes,
And so you didn't decide, like, I'm just going to shoot a drama with two people in the room. I'm going to make this really hard with planes flying and period pieces and
dogs, kids. I wanted to torture the crew. I'm a sadist.
It wouldn't be fun if it was easy, though. Then everybody would just quit because it's like, there's nothing to do here.
But we got lucky because this town we shot in Valentine, Nebraska, it's in the Sandhills, and the town sort of exists as it did in the 1950s. And people came out of the woodwork bringing us cars and props and costumes, and so the town is really instrumental in getting the film made the way it should be made.
And how did you settle on finding that town? Were you scouting locations, or did you Google it and says, "Hey, this is a 1950s town"? And
Towns that look like the past.
yeah,
It was a little bit of both. We had mentioned, or Dave mentioned earlier, we were working on a Western film, and we have a website, which is docmiddleton.com. That's the name of the next film, Doc Middleton. And these people from Valentine, Nebraska actually found us through that website because Doc Middleton operated there in the Sandhills around Valentine. And so when we went up there, we were going there to scout locations for Doc, but we decided to pitch them this project as well because that was kind of the one we were ready to get going with right then. And so the town kind of came behind us, and we pitched it there for the city council, and they ended up giving us a small increment of funds from their economic development board. And kind of roundaboutly, we ended up creating film incentives for the state of Nebraska. So it was kind of a cool project, and it was just a lot of fun to do.
And now that the incentives are in place, Alexander Payne took advantage of them and shot his film there. It's called Nebraska. He was going to shoot in Kansas because there was tax incentives, but now that they're in Nebraska, he shot his film in Nebraska, and now it's premiering at the Cannes Film Festival this year. So, and to answer your question, to go back, yes, once we decided to go forward on this project, we scouted locations. We drove all over Colorado and Nebraska to find airports. That was the key ingredient because we didn't know if we were going to shoot Colorado or Nebraska. And once the tax incentives from Nebraska came in, we went to Nebraska. Valentine had the airport, and then this happy accident happened. It turns out my grandfather had a hangar in Valentine.
Wow.
And all these weird... It was meant to be's happen.
It was really just a Jerry Maguire moment, though. They showed us the money, and that's where we went. So
Bobby took his shirt off
quite a few times.
and then they really showed you the money.
Exactly.
I think we rolled over something that did I hear you right that you said that you guys were instrumental in getting Nebraska to have incentives for film there?
Yeah, basically,
I want to hear about that.
The way that we went about doing it, which was, the economic development person there in Valentine, Nebraska, his name is Mike Burge, and he kind of had this idea with us to go ahead and go in front of the city council and pitch the project as something that would really not only boost tourism, but bring in a lot of funds to the city that wouldn't have been going on during their off season. They have a big hunting season as well as a big rafting and tubing season. So when they were off season, they were looking for things to bring money into their businesses, and they thought a crew of 30 or 40 people coming in and not only spending money in the community as a production, but also as individuals when they were offset would be something that would really help them to grow. And so what they did was they gave us a small amount of funds to come and offset the cost of like gas, food, lodging, things like that. And that's the way we decided to go there as opposed to shooting here in Colorado.
And then so we went there, we shot there, we dropped a bunch of money. After we're gone, State Senator Colby Koash saw how it had worked, and he went before the Senate and said, hey, I want to propose these tax incentives. And then Alexander Payne and actor John Beasley testified and said, yeah, this is a good idea for the state. They passed, and now Nebraska has I think it's 25% tax rebate.
Wow.
For filmmaking in the state.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's been a big deal here for a long time. Like in Colorado, people like us have been, and especially there is a large community of people here in Denver who are trying to make films, and I think there are a lot of people who are desperate and wondering why? How come every time they make a Cowboys and Aliens movie, they aren't filming it in Colorado? And it's because we don't have that stuff in place.
Yeah.
And that's huge. So for one thing, thank you. That's really cool. And two, do it in Colorado now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's just one of those things that, again, I think they just had a bill go before the Senate, and a couple of the senators turned it down, and so they're having problems with increasing the amount of funds that they can use for the tax incentives. So I think it's all about education and really just getting it aside from the people that are directly involved in the film community, but other people to get on board and see what a benefit it could be to the state. So it's great to be on podcasts like you guys, so we can get the word out there and let people know about it.
It's a big deal,
No, thank you for coming on. I mean, we'll always have filmmakers on it. It's great. I didn't know. I mean, I knew you guys it was an independent film, but I didn't know it was kind of that big of an independent film. I mean, when you have a crew of how many people were on your crew? You said 30 or 40?
Maybe 20 to 30.
Because the last guy we interviewed had a crew of 3. So, I mean, how many days did it take you to shoot your film?
We shot in 17 days.
And
it was pretty lean. We had to give or take a couple because we did some aerial pickups in Colorado. Mm-hmm. We had a snow scene, so we had to wait
and a
for
few
a
of us
blizzard.
had to sober up.
Yeah, once you get to the end of the shoot,
Yeah.
Martini shot's a real martini.
Yeah, martini shot's a real martini.
So, take me through the process then of making the film. Did you guys audition people just in Nebraska, or did you put out a casting call and people showed up and you took them with you, or how did that all work?
It's kind of backwards the way we did. We needed to shoot a trailer at first because we did crowdfunding on Indiegogo.
That was going to be my next question.
For a small percentage, not the entire budget.
Right. Yeah, it didn't cover.
Says the guy that put some of his own money in there.
It wasn't a Veronica Mars all-inclusive deal. We raised $8,000 on Kickstarter, and the rest was private investment. But
wow,
to get it going, we shot a trailer, and we auditioned 200 or 300 people in Denver, and there's one guy in L.A. And so we shot the trailer with the people that were the best from the auditions, and then it turned out that I cast them in the feature too. A year later, we went into production. It took a while to raise the money. Fundraising's not easy,
right?
But yeah, that's kind of how it went. And we put out casting calls to agencies, Craigslist, you name it. Just getting it out there. People came in.
We did cast a lot in Nebraska as well for day players. I think we had maybe 8 or 9 people that were actually speaking roles, right? And then in terms of the town itself, we had over 300 people show up just to be extras.
Extras, stand-ins, yeah.
So worked out really well.
Wow. I do want to know a little bit more about. So you did some of it crowdsourced. How was that the first place you went? How did you go about getting?
Yeah,
are the people who independently funded it? Are they friends of yours?
The first place was Indiegogo, and we did that instead of Kickstarter because Indiegogo, you don't have to raise the full amount. You can raise a portion. You still get it. They take 9% if you don't raise the full amount. They take 4% if you do.
Yeah.
And so we did Indiegogo, showed the trailer on the website to get the buzz, did some parties and stuff. That got the word of mouth going, and then it was just a matter of contacting private investors who saw the trailer, who saw that we had this momentum behind us. And that's how we got the finishing funds.
Oh, cool. So it was more that the fact that you had done it crowdsourced and could show to people we raised this amount of money for this just from people who are clearly interested in this. That was a selling point that you could use to investors and say look, there are people who are willing to put their money into this. You should too.
Right, because the first money is always the toughest money.
Yeah.
Well, and the crowdsourcing is something that basically provided us with pre-production funding, so it's something to keep us going during that period. But I definitely give an advice to anybody who's trying to do an independent film at all. Go out and shoot a trailer. Shoot something short. Just it's so affordable now. I think we did our trailer for under $500, and we had an airplane in it. We had an old cop car in it. We had some amazing shots in it. And this was something that was kind of like a almost a business card for raising the rest of the funds, where we could take it to investors and say, this is what we did for nothing. Imagine giving us just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think if you compare our original trailer to our current film, you'll see that, the cinematography isn't quite exactly the same, but it's pretty close. So definitely, if you're going to go make an independent film and you're going to do crowdsourcing, is something that will help you get started, but absolutely make something first, rather than just trying to take to investors a piece of paper that says what your story is.
And it's tough for guys like us who aren't Veronica Mars, who don't have the built-in fan base.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're Veronica Mars, you can raise $2 million on Kickstarter, but if you're not, it's tougher. So you got to show what you got.
Yeah.
So did you guys have rehearsals and everything with the cast members, or after you cast them, you guys said, well, we're going to be here on this certain day, here's a script, learn the lines, and get going? Or was it really planned out with, rehearsals and working with the actors?
I like to have rehearsals, so we had rehearsals, and we even videotaped them, and then we changed it. Inevitably, it changes a lot from script to scene while you're shooting. So, yeah, we had rehearsals, and I think it helps.
So what was the toughest day you guys had making the movie? Was it raising the money, or was there certain elements, shooting airplanes? Because to me, seeing some of those shots in airplanes and how well they're done, but they're going to hand the mic over.
There's probably definitely a different story for all three of us, because each one of us, not only every day was the worst day of our lives, but one probably was a little bit worse. So go ahead, Bill.
Well, actually, I wasn't even on set the day that everyone said it was like the worst day ever. It was, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 degrees outside, and the wind was blowing 40, 50 miles an hour, and it's like sleeting and snowing and everything. And the hardest and probably most fun day at the same time was actually our aerial day, the one day that we were, it was just the three of us as a skeleton crew. And our director had a little too much fun the night before with our pilot and was unable to get out of bed, so it was up to two of us to do the work of three guys. And
Yeah,
so
the
that made
pilot
it
was still able to fly somehow.
that made it a little bit interesting, but
too.
yeah. And I was the one that was sitting in the plane with the pilot, so I had to take off and land with the guy, which was a little hairy.
Was that the
but-
worst day until you landed?
No,
and
he's
it's
a
okay.
great pilot. He did a wonderful job on this film. It was a beautiful airplane and everything. Like, we were so blessed to have him on board. And I mean, once we finally got the plane working, of course, the day it gets there, it broke down, and so we had to order parts in through Carney and all other places, and it just took forever to get this thing working for us. But it was, Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
So.
But it eventually worked. It didn't end up being your shark, where it's like, well, you never see the plane, but it makes the movie better.
No, but hilariously, when we were shooting aerials, I got really airsick, and then when we landed, Billy was rolling camera, and we pulled right up to him on the runway. I opened the door, and Billy goes, "How did it go?" And I just projectile vomited all over.
He made it the whole plane ride, thankfully, and didn't throw up in this guy's airplane. But then right when he landed, like the first moment he had, it was just everywhere. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Good times in airplanes, small airplanes.
So while you were filming the movie, was there a part where you realized what you're doing is right? I mean, would you have like an aha moment that it was all coming together, everything worked well, or did you have to wait till you started editing the movie and then you realized what you did was good?
It's funny when you're there. I was just so focused on the work and producing too. You're thinking about two different things, and I just wanted to get it right. And at one point you might have a feeling like it's going well or not, but you never know until you see the footage. And we didn't have the luxury of looking at dailies. I would look at them every night at the computer, but then it's like, do we have time to reshoot? Do we have the budget? We were so low budget. It was very shoestring, and I think we got incredibly lucky with a hard-working crew, a talented cast, and everyone really pulled together on this. And I think we got lucky.
I think for me it was kind of the same thing. Like it didn't really hit me like how good of a job we had done until after we had got kind of our first assembly edit, where you're looking at the footage and going, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." But that's kind of the thing that, again, just the best advice I think anybody could give is you hire a good crew while you're there, because Dave and I were basically just in a blur. We both had all these things to do all day long, and it was like putting out fires, doing different things, but you knew that there was somebody doing their job where you couldn't be there, and that's just a testament to our crew. Like the how good of a footage we got was all them. And then I think the director did a decent job as well.
Well, directing is easy. You just look angry and sit in a chair. And casting is 80%. The rest is just shouting.
So do you have a particular style to your directing then? I mean, are you a hands-on director? Do you give actors direction on how they should play a scene, or do you kind of let them do it and then tweak their performances, or how do you direct?
I'm absurd mix between Stanley Kubrick and John Cassavetes, whereas on one hand, I'm an insane perfectionist, and on the other hand, I'll just if someone has an idea and it's good, I'll let them bring it to the table and go with it. So, it's all about finding what works.
Is that an inner struggle with yourself, though, where you're such a perfectionist and then someone comes with an idea that maybe you don't like, but you let them go with it to see if maybe they have a better idea?
Only if it's me.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang. You have when you're producing, directing, you wear two hats, and you have to walk that line of, okay, when do we call it? What's good enough? What do we sacrifice? What do we keep shooting? What do we let go? You got to choose your battles, and you don't have the luxury that Kubrick had. You don't have the budgets that he had. You got to be more Cassavetes when you're working in an independent world, and just let the camera, be free to catch the actors' movements. Let the actors do their thing, but also be there. The director's job is to be the final quality check.
Was there a moment you can think of where you felt like that was where that happened, where somebody came to you with an idea, and it ended up being like, either changing the scene or being one of your favorite little elements of the movie?
Yeah, there's some lines. One of our actors, Bo Kiger, we're old friends, he wanted to change it, and I was against it, and he said, let me try it. So we tried it, and it worked better, and I said, let's keep it.
Cool.
It was just a little scene, nothing groundbreaking, but it adds a layer of believability, and that's what good actors bring to the role. They prepare for it, and that's why you hire them.
Yeah. I only asked, one of my favorite stories about film, since we're on this subject, is when Spielberg made Raiders, and the girl writing "Love You" on her eyelids was, I think, his cinematographer's idea, and now he says it's his favorite scene in the whole movie, and he didn't even come up with it. It's just I love the stories of how little things like that can tweak and be so impactful to the way that you make a movie, or at least the way that you look at your own work.
Yeah, same like in The Shining, the "Here's Johnny" line was Jack Nicholson improving. And again with Raiders, the scene where the swordsman is going wah, 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 and
Right.
Harrison Ford pulls out the gun and shoots. Harrison Ford is sick and said, "I'm not doing this." Bullshit.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah, it's those things. We didn't have like one of those crazy moments, but yeah, those are fun.
Cool.
So how long after you shot the film did you have a film ready, and where did it premiere at? And was that a great moment?
It took us maybe 3 months to edit. I can't remember now. Jeez.
I think it was we were done by the last shot. I think we had was in the end of December, and we had our first I guess you would call it final cut done by June 1st, because that's when we sent it off to Toronto.
Which we didn't get into, of course.
It was about the editing process took about 6 months, a little over.
And then we premiered at the Calgary International Film Festival, and then played at Gotham Screen, New York City, Stars Denver, Trail Dance in Oklahoma, and Omaha.
How was the experience seeing it with an audience for the first time? Was it rewarding, or was it, oh my gosh, they're looking at my stuff, or how are they going to judge it? How did that go?
Yeah, I've seen it too many times. I don't know. When you see it with an audience, yeah, you want to. It's nerve-wracking. It's exhilarating. It's everything. They laugh at weird moments. They're shocked by things that you never would have thought. At this one crucial moment at the end, this one woman in the audience at Stars Denver she puts her hands over her face and is almost like weeping. I just like zeroed in on her, and that was like, well, we've done it. Nice. It got to one person. I don't know. You, Billy?
I guess you pretty much summed it up, and it's just exciting to see a bunch of people and how all the different reactions and what they get and what they don't get and what they leave the theater talking about and what they're, just the emotions coming out of it is just exciting to see, and crazy to watch. Your director biting his nails trying to figure out what everybody else is thinking.
And you were acting in it, correct?
No, I was officially, I was an associate producer, but I worked in the art department through the whole film, and then my brother and I have baseball cameos.
Oh, just cameos.
Yes.
Billy's been there from the beginning. He's been on crew ever since we could force him to work for free. So,
again, being the little brother,
he doesn't have an official. Actually, he does
paid.
have an official title, which is snake training. And the joke is there's no snakes in the movie, and that's why they were that well trained. So
Yeah.
that's his official title.
They were really well trained.
So, do you guys have any screenings coming up that we can tell people about, or is there a place where we can find your movie and watch it, or what's the next step for you guys?
Yeah, we're doing a theatrical screening, which is really exciting, at the Sea Film Center in Denver, April 26th through May 2nd. And if we get a lot of people coming out, they may hold it over, so come on out. We're going to be there the 27th for a Q&A after the 7:15 showing. And Sea Film Center's at 2510 East Colfax, between Twist and Shout and Tattered Cover.
Great place.
And you can get more information on us at www.theaviationcocktail.com. We do the Facebook and Twitter thing. You can just Google that, or just Facebook/The Aviation Cocktail. But we're kind of excited we have our own beer for the film. So this theater does serve booze, and trust me, you want to have a drink or two before you watch this film. And not because of quality, but because of maybe subject matter. But definitely come out. We have the Aviation Cocktail Ale, which is a dark rye IPA. It's delicious.
Wow.
And it's 8 or 9% alcohol.
Yeah, you only need a couple of those.
So it's about 1 or 2, and you're good for the movie. And we're going to have a lot of fun there at the Sea Film Center, but then we hope to have screenings kind of all throughout Colorado and Nebraska as well. So we'll keep it around, and the best way to find out more info is definitely through our Facebook and website.
Awesome.
Very cool. Do you have any parting words for independent filmmakers that want to make a film and they're nervous about it? Should they go shoot in Nebraska, or what's your guys' advice?
Nebraska
for independent
is ours. Stay out.
Except for Alexander Payne. He's allowed.
No, yeah, just go where the story takes you. If you want to make a film, make it. Find a way to do it. If that's your passion.
That's right. Don't let anybody hold you back.
There's, with technology now, like, cameras are getting cheaper and they look better, and independent film, I think, is going to see a whole new generation of filmmakers that come out that are going to compete with the majors and give them a run for their money, especially with video on demand and everything. I think now's the time. Take out your small crew, your DSLR, whatever. Go out and make your film.
Oh, before we forget, how are things going with the Western? Is there a way where people who've seen your movie can help support that, or where are you with that film?
Yeah, so docmiddleton.com, you can email us through there. We're in the preliminary stages of going out and looking for funds.
Cool.
So he was a real outlaw. in Nebraska, kind of like a Jesse James with a Robin Hood flair, and we hope to be shooting in a year. Hopefully.
Very cool.
And you're trying not to make it easy, so you're going from airplanes to shooting a Western.
Yeah. We're just going to continue going back in time until we make the best caveman movie ever.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, Ringo Starr might have beat you to it, guys. Anybody else see Caveman? That shitty movie?
Yeah, no, I know.
Remember when he falls in that huge pile of shit? That's all I remember from that movie.
You were trying to show off like that. I know everything about that.
I know movies so well. No one else seen Caveman.
There goes
that
page
one
5
scene
of our script.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We're going to have to rewrite that scene.
Well, thanks for stopping by, guys. We appreciate it. And
Yeah.
we will check you out on Facebook, and we will go see your movie at the C Film Center.
Thanks for having us on the show, guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
thank
problem.
you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
You're always welcome back when starting to get your Western going.
For
come
sure.
back. If you want to talk more about Aviation Cocktail because you're promoting it somewhere, come back. We're always here. The door is always open
Yeah.
because I forget to lock it. So just come on in. And he is. My dog is a ferocious dog.
As he just
He's licking my
pitifully
face.
lays his head on your knee. Oh,
Hey, Real Nerds listeners, you thought the Aviation Cocktail guys were gone from our show, but they're sticking around to talk about Oblivion. Now, what we do, guys, is we spoil the movie. But before we spoil the movie, we ask everybody if they should go see Oblivion in theaters. And then after we say yes or no and why not or why yes, we play the trailer, and then we get into spoilers and things like that.
and if you are in any way interested in seeing Oblivion, I would definitely say don't let this movie get spoiled for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of spoilers.
There's stuff that you can't even imagine is in this movie.
Exactly. The
Well, I mean, you
trailers-
could imagine it, but like,
Yeah, Tom Cruise is in it.
yeah,
He
right,
is.
yeah.
He might be a replicant.
And spoiler alert, he does run.
Oh man, he's still good
So
at running.
it's still happening. It's just if
Oh,
anybody
man.
was worried, he does do a nice
All
little
right,
job.
cool. So we definitely always start with our guests. Should people go see Oblivion?
I would say if you haven't seen Moon, go see it.
Ooh.
If you haven't seen the trailer for Oblivion, yes, go see it.
I saw the trailer, and I actually am going to go with no. Do not see this in theaters. I would wait for the home video release.
Wow.
I think this movie could have started halfway through and still been an effective movie. So I think it's pretty good sci-fi, but it might leave some people uninterested.
Oh man. I skipped to my car. Does that answer the question? I loved this movie. I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I think it's the kind of science fiction that we just don't get. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Moon, but I really didn't like Moon. so this, I'm sorry, Brad. So this both scratches that itch while having some great action sequences, especially near the end. I mean, yeah, the first half is slower and quieter, but I think that it's building to something really interesting.
I agree with James. I love this movie.
yeah.
I love the way it was shot. I thought it was really interesting. And we're going to play the trailer right now, and the trailer doesn't even tell 1/20th of this story, but here it is. You know what, though? I do love that when Tom Cruise says, "Who are you?" Because I believe everything Tom Cruise says after that moment.
Oh man, yeah, he says that line really good.
I wanted to spend the rest of my life here.
Jack. An object came down in 1-7.
Got it. On my way. 60 years ago, Earth was attacked. We won the war, but they destroyed half the planet. Everyone's been evacuated. Nothing human remains. Our job is security and drone maintenance. We're the mop-up crew.
2 more weeks, Jack, and we can leave and join the others.
Doesn't seem right. We won the war. Now we have to leave.
This is Mission Control. How y'all doing this morning?
Don't take any chances. dangerous down there.
I've been watching you, Jack.
Who are you?
The people you work for lied to you. They told you to follow orders. And soon you would join the others. It's time you know the truth.
How do you know my name? There are people down there. There are things you need to know.
I don't want to know! You're still an effective team. We're not an effective team.
They're firing on survivors. Stand down!
This is insubordinate behavior.
Why aren't you telling me?
Who are you?
Help us end this.
You don't have to die. They don't have to die. It's time to come home.
I'm not gonna do that. Earth is my home.
Can we talk now, Brad? Is the trailer over? All right, cool. The trailer's over. So, I mean, I guess the most obvious question is, why did you guys not enjoy the movie? Or
what's wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
So
I mean, first you come in here, talk about how great your movie is. Now talk about how bad Oblivion is.
I am not. I didn't say the movie wasn't good. I just say you don't necessarily have to see it in the theater. It's a great movie, science fiction wise. Or I should say, not really sci-fi wise, more action wise.
Yeah.
Visual effects were stunning and the action was cool. I was telling them on the way out that little flying plane dealy thing was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I was thinking if they could make a ride of that at Universal in 3D, and it would be badass.
I mean, it can fly one way but turn around and shoot turret wise at robots behind it, which is sweet.
Joseph Kosinski he's really creative in the way he makes those actions. Like, because I felt, no matter how you feel about Tron Legacy, I think the chases in that movie are thrilling and inventive, and this feels the same way. Especially the first time the pod turns around and there's like a computer screen projection of what might be behind him. Like little things like that were just made that car chase at the end really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, you could take my argument in two different ways, because in one way, what I thought was a little lame is it seemed like it had elements of every sci-fi movie ever made.
Yeah,
and it was like almost too easy to see that the end of the movie is like, here's spoiler again, it's robots,
right,
taking or an alien from outer space harvesting the Earth, and then there's clones and things like that. And
yeah,
I don't know, I guess you could make the argument that that's what made it great, because it had elements of every sci-fi movie, but at the same time it was like, it just to me felt like a very overdone story, just souped up with better visual effects. So.
Yeah.
I must be an idiot because I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Oh, he's a clone. Remember when he was wearing a scarf and he was a clone?
Well, I kept thinking Matrix, just because they made
a little bit,
Morgan Freeman look exactly like Morpheus.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I've heard, I haven't read a lot of reviews, but I've read little bits in there, and that whole thing about the homages has come up as like, oh, there's too many homages, and I don't see it as homages as just as much that the tropes and like archetypal stories that have built science fiction for the last however many years are very present here. The restricted areas you can't go to, and the promised land, those things that have been in every science fiction story since ever. And yeah, they feel hackneyed sometimes, but when we find out he's a clone, that like stunned me.
You guys, can't go into the radiation area because that's where the other clone is.
See, I knew there were going to be other pilots, but I didn't think that they were also going to be Tom Cruise until he comes over the hill and he's looking through the scope, and we aren't allowed to see who he is, and I was like, oh shit. Like, that was the moment. I wasn't shocked when they revealed it, but I was, when we got to that scene and that's where they were going to take us, I was like, oh, this is more complicated than I thought.
And what's more intense than 2 Tom Cruises fighting? I mean,
two Tom Cruises running.
Perfect answer. Oh man,
because when he took out all those dudes in Jack Reacher,
yeah,
and then he had to fight himself in this movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
what if
dude.
in Jack Reacher he had kicked himself in the balls?
Totally.
Oh man, that movie would have been great.
I think it was just weird though that he exposed that he is in fact a clone. We've all known that Tom Cruise is a clone, right? For since Top Gun. Look at
yeah.
I just saw Top Gun IMAX 3D, which was amazing, by the way.
That's what I heard.
I missed it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Cool.
I heard the 3D was super awesome in it.
Yeah. Tony Scott knew what he was doing.
Oh man.
So, okay, if you missed that,
and we're
he
real
has
nerds.
not aged like a day.
Oh,
He grew
no.
some stubble out. It took him 20 years to get that kind of stubble.
Well, it's because
now,
he checks his e-meter every day and makes sure that the alien souls aren't in
he
him.
is in fact an alien, and this movie is proof. And I think that we're pretty bold of him to reveal that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I'm an overcritical jerk. I'm not going to hate 90% of movies. I didn't hate the movie, but little things get me. Like
Right.
You mentioned the way it was shot,
Mhm.
Ryan. The DP, whose name is
Here we go.
Claudio Miranda, who just won an Oscar for Life of Pi.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm a fan of how he shot this. He shot at a ASA of 800 at a wide open lens, and there's shots where it's a close up of the girl or Tom Cruise, and one eyeball will be in focus and the other one will be out of focus. And it's like is it supposed to be jarring? No,
I never would have
it's just
noticed
the
that.
way it was shot, and little things like that will.
Can we talk about
instantly
that
take me out.
crotch shot though?
Oh
by the
yeah,
pool?
the swimming pool
maybe?
shot.
Oh yeah,
That makes it worth it to see in the theater.
That's
you want to see that
that's
big.
the
I did have a
press
moment
admission.
earlier where I was like, this is an R, is it? Because I never look at ratings anymore. I was like, are we going to see her naked? Like, are we? And I mean, more than you do, but yeah, that was weird.
Some things you can get away with.
I wouldn't say
okay.
weird. I would say
Pleasurable.
enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh man. We
don't mean to bring you guys down here.
No,
though,
no,
sorry.
dude. No, not at all. I mean, that's the whole point of this. Is like I actually like it when there's somebody on the show who doesn't agree with us because it.
I know. I
If
mean,
we
last
just
time
sat
it
here-
happened is when I liked the Hunger Games and these guys didn't.
Dude, that movie's fucking shit.
It's horrible.
Thank you. My God. Oh man.
A cool thing though about the shooting of Oblivion, to get back to that, was
Yeah. Nicely done. Nicely done.
when Tom and his girlfriend are in their sky house.
Yeah.
And it's got all the clouds and mountain scenes in the background. All that was shot. It was projected onto a big cyc. So that was shot in camera. That wasn't CG.
Wow.
No, I
And
think
I
the
thought that
movie
worked
was
pretty
beautiful.
effectively.
I mean, there's
yeah.
parts when he was riding his motorcycle or in the flying thing. Like, oh, there's something from New York. There's another thing, but it's destroyed.
I think.
I don't know. I guess I'm
Yeah,
just
what
too
if when
simple.
they
Yeah, I
showed
liked
the
that the first time I saw
the
it in
Statue of
AI,
Liberty,
or
they're like,
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, you
yeah,
didn't like
it was
in
Earth
AI.
all along.
And you did not like it in Planet of the Apes. Are we talking
No,
about the
no.
Tim Burton one or
Planet
the
of the
old
Apes.
one?
No, we're
No.
not.
We
talking
never
about the
talk
Tim
about the
Burton
Tim
one.
Burton
No one
one.
talks about that.
No, but we're also not talking about AI.
No, but getting back to AI. Don't you think that movie should have ended when he's underwater staring at the blue fairy and just cut out that whole end alien?
Oh
bullshit
yeah,
sequence?
yeah. But I also think that movie, there's a whole middle half of that movie that should not be there. There's a bunch. We can't argue about this movie. I fucking hate that film. It is my least favorite Steven Spielberg movie. I would rather watch 1941.
Getting back to Oblivion,
yeah.
yet again. How about this for an interesting fact? The Tom Cruise got to bang that other woman for quite a long time without feeling guilty about it because his brain was washed. He didn't even know he had a wife.
Oh,
that seems like kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's like the perfect out. I could tell my wife, "Oh, this big pyramid eyeball thing, wipe my brain out. I know what the fuck I'm doing anymore."
alien robots did it, honey.
It wasn't me, it was my clone.
Yeah.
Banging her over
I
and
will
over
say
again.
that the alien reveal was a little disappointing. I was hoping it was going to be a big monster. And
when she just
triangle
ended,
after triangle.
Yeah.
Or just a more inventive version of a big computer.
Yeah.
Not just like a... not Super Hell, exactly. It ended up being, oh my god, it is totally Super Hell. Oh shit, fuck me. It ended up feeling like it felt very like third act Star Trek the motion picture where there was a lot of going through doors, like giant space doors. But still, I think I wanted to bring this up. I think part of the reason why I enjoyed the first hour or so when it's just him flying his cool ship is little scenes like the scene with the dog at the beginning, and when they set up the first time that we see the drones. However, how they designed, especially the sound design on that drone, is so cool. I think because it, he's trying to tell us how this world works. But as soon as that drone turns on, it's evil. Like, and not just because of the trailer, it's in the way it moves. If you hadn't seen the trailer, you would have.
In the way it sounds, too, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It's all in the way that it moves and sounds that like, okay, however this movie ends, that thing is evil. Like, everything else could be kosher about what's going on in this world. Those robots are going to go evil.
And having one turret firing one way while the other one flips around and shoots the guy behind him.
Oh,
was pretty fucking
They were
awesome.
so hostile. Like, oh man, when it blows up the first of the Vicky ladies and comes through that curtain that's half on fire, that shot's just cool. I don't know, and maybe one eye is out of focus, but still, it's really cool.
The drone only had one eye, Dave. So I don't know what your problem
that
was.
was the I missed it because
The other one was a motion detector.
I was worried about the service at Alamo Draft House. They didn't bring me my beer, and so I was freaking out the first 30 minutes. But then,
no comment.
Honestly, later in the film, when I saw that Jaime Lannister had escaped Game of Thrones and got into the future, pretty excited about that too.
Zoe Bella's in this movie too,
Yeah.
and as soon as she was on screen, I was just rooting for her the whole time. I was like, yeah, I know. I thought at some point she was gonna get on a car and do something awesome, or get killed, like she dies in Lost in a weird way. But no, she just shoots some people and runs.
There were echoes of Tron Legacy though, in it, which were
that
cool.
score.
Yeah,
is
the score.
both reminiscent and I thought really good. I really, especially at the end when he's dragging the coffin out of there and the music is rising and we know we're building to this end. I was like, yeah, this is the kind of score that makes me excited for summer movies like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was definitely a beginning to the summer season.
Oh yeah,
and it's cool too that they use. I love the word use of fuck in it. Because
fuck you, Sally.
Fuck you, Sally.
Maybe that's going to be probably the best fuck of the summer of the year. Like that, I don't know that you can get better than that.
Oh
Fuck
no,
you,
stay
Sally.
at my house later tonight. That'll be the best fuck of the year.
No, your wife is already asleep.
That was too easy of a joke. But it's funny. I always argue with, especially my wife and a lot of girls, because they always say they hate Tom Cruise.
I don't understand.
And I tell them you don't hate Tom Cruise movies though, because Tom Cruise really doesn't make bad movies. You might not like the movies very much, but his movies are never really bad.
Rock of Ages.
Yeah, was that the?
Yeah, you're right. No. But Rock of Ages, he is great
he's
in
good
Rock
in
of
Rock
Ages.
of Ages.
But the rest of Rock of Ages is shit.
Laura,
I don't know.
I'm not going to give you the mic because no one wants to hear what you have to say.
I will I wouldn't
Agree
say
about him shirtless.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that
he looks great.
he's never made a good bad movie, but I would say that I
don't
understand not liking him. He's not I don't have a Mel Gibson problem with him where when I see him on screen I have a hard time separating him from who he really is.
I love Mel Gibson.
I do too, but I like modern Mel Gibson movies because he's not making the great Mel Gibson movies of yesteryear. I watch them and I'm like, oh yeah, this is only Get the Gringo.
So you're
like,
saying
it
Get the
reminds me
Gringo,
that he's
Lethal Weapon, not on the same level? That's
yes.
what you're saying?
Yeah. I
It's
would.
hard to make great movies when you're that hungover. Well, actually, no.
Not that hard.
I think Robert Shaw is pretty good in Jaws, and
yeah.
Well, what is that, 80-some takes or something?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he had to be carried onto set.
Yeah, there's a whole on the Blu-ray of Jaws. They talk about how he was horrible in the original shooting of the Indianapolis scene because he wanted to get in method so much that he was so drunk that they couldn't even use anything he was doing.
And then he apologized. That's the most heartbreaking part of the story. Is that especially knowing that Robert Shaw had a problem, the fact that the next day he had to come, or 2 days later, something like that, he had to come and say I'm really sorry. I messed that up. Oh man.
Well, he knew he
killer.
fucked up. I mean,
Yeah.
But still,
Spielberg will have you killed for less.
But still,
See, Tom Cruise doesn't get
a
drunk on
bad
set.
Tom Cruise movie though. Still waiting for it. Maybe Far and Away.
No. Yeah, Far and Away.
Seriously,
Night
the
and
one with
Day.
Cameron Diaz. That's called Night and Day, right?
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the worst movie ever made.
No. Well, I've seen House of the Dead. Have you
I
seen
watched
House of the
even
Dead?
worse than Ghost Rider.
I watched Jersey Shore Shark Attack this week. Like, you know, the bar.
Sharktopus, though, I think is pretty good. Sharktopus, have you seen that one?
No, I own it. It's on my list. I'm going through a long.
James has a reoccurring
Feature?
blog, or I guess an article on our website, what's called Shit Show Review, where he goes to, Second Spin or Tradesmart and gets these really shitty movies for $1, and he watches them because...
But then I don't review them as on their merit. I review them as whether or not you should have your friends over and get drunk and watch the movie.
Oh, absolutely. I love stuff
so
like that.
like Sand Sharks got a 4 out of 5 stars because Sand Sharks is pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah. You should see
Lions
Sand
for
Sharks.
Lambs. Tom Cruise was in Lions for Lambs.
Robert Redford is, too. It's not that bad.
I shouldn't talk. I didn't see it. I'm not on Ryan's side here. There are bad Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, I'm still
But-
waiting for someone to name one for me.
We've been naming them.
We
You
literally
said
named
Rock
3.
of Ages. It's not that bad.
No, they said Rock. I said Rock of Ages isn't that bad. Night and Day is pretty bad.
No, it's not. I mean, when you're talking
It's
about
not great.
horrible movies, though. I mean, come
Okay,
on.
yeah. He doesn't make garbage.
Thank you.
Unless some people here don't like that.
I got nothing.
He runs really good. He's the best
He's
runner
pretty
in
fast.
Hollywood. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to
Yeah.
be silly. Like go watch Mission Impossible 3. When he runs, you feel like he needs to get there, or he needs to get away. One of the two.
All I'm saying is respect the cock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Magnolia's great.
I don't want to finish that sentence.
And
But
tame
you're
the pussy.
You're probably going to.
Pussy's not the word he uses.
I know I don't say that word because my wife's
I know.
around.
I don't say that word either. That's why I didn't want to.
So let me ask you guys a question. Why do you think that the triangle-shaped alien didn't stop the pod of people on the same route back to Earth? Did it not see those people as a threat?
Yeah, they never explain what it is, like why the pod of people doesn't make it back to Earth, because he says it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But for some reason they've got to send coordinates to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
why
order for
wouldn't
it to
the
come
drones
down.
just shoot it?
Right.
Maybe it was. I mean, maybe they didn't know about it, or something,
use them as clones, so you have like 2 hot chicks as clones.
It's already in the fucking tractor beam.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a short-sighted. It's really narrow-minded. It saw Tom Cruise and they're like,
Yeah.
I really need this. Yeah,
If we clone this guy, he can run real good.
Yeah, they had already talked to Elron, so they knew Lord Xenu knew
Yeah, exactly.
to recruit him.
Or maybe aliens fuck up. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a mistake.
Aliens are human after all.
Oh man. Yeah. I do like that there never was like a. I was sort of expecting there was going to be an actual alien race and that this was just their thing. But the fact that it really was just a device that goes around and eats planets. It was Galactus.
dude.
This is the best Fantastic Four movie that was ever made. Oh man.
And Tom Cruise plays all 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise can.
Well, actually, no. Jessica Alba still plays the Invisible Woman in Oblivion, but
You don't
she's
see
invisible
her.
the whole time. So
You feel her
He's
presence.
banging her too, though.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah. She was invisible. I didn't know she was there. Cool.
Cool.
I still think you should do it. Well, how can people find us, Ryan?
Well, I'll tell you, James. They can tweet us, real_nerds. You can email us at realnerds@gmail.com. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. Call us, 720-6nerds5. But we're not the important ones this week. Hey, guys, how can we find you on the internet and support you guys?
Our website is theaviationcocktail.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter. And you could look up BillyDeLinaSexy.com.
Yeah.
Is that porn? Do you do porn, Bill?
Snaketraining.com.
That's it. That's how you'll find us. We're out there. So
Cool.
you just
Plus,
have to look.
And where can we? When can we see your film? And where can we see it again?
And again, we are doing a theatrical run at the C Film Center, April 26th through May 2nd. That is 2510 East Colfax in Denver.
Cool.
It's right behind Twist and Shout, the new one.
Yeah, so you can go to Twist and Shout, get a CD, and then see a great movie.
And then go to Tattered Cover and
And
the
get a
graphic
great
novel.
book. Yeah. You know, what a great day. What a great day.
Oh man,
That's why Denver's
if
great.
you had a picnic at some point in there, it would
City
just be,
Park is right across the street, pretty much.
Wow.
So yeah,
You've solved all my problems.
Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
That was
yeah,
really
you stay
cool.
classy,
guys. Thank
San
you.
Diego.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
And
thank you.
next week we are seeing a big hunky movie called Pain and Gain
Yeah,
with Rock, Mark Wahlberg, and some other black guy.
Michael Bay. Michael Bay's in the movie, right?
I hope not.
Oh, I hope he is.
He is.
I said he's the black guy.
Cool.
Spoiler alert.
In this one, Michael Bay remakes Soul Man instead of C. Thomas Howell. It's Marky Wahlberg.
If you thought Transformers 2 was racist, just wait till Michael Bay puts on blackface in Pain and Gain. Oh man, cool.
He's going to make that movie.
He should.
You hope.
I would see it. As long as there are low angles of the main characters, I don't care. I'll see it. Cool.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.